What's up, everybody? Welcome to the TGIF podcast. I'm your host, Ryan. It's great to have you with us. I'm here with one of my co-hosts. It's Killer Greg.
Hey, homeboys in the chat. You can tell us why I have Gasping Dolphin beneath my name.
Yeah.
You're going to get a, TGIF pod prize.
Do we have prizes?
Later. Yeah, sure. One day we'll have prizes.
One day or Monday?
Bare minimum, but when I die, that person will get a prize.
Okay, when you die,
good.
You'll be in your will.
Amount of debt. You know, it's the world is our oyster, and the prize is his oyster.
Let's figure it out. What does Gasping Dolphin mean? All right, also with Mr. Megastar Mark.
Hello.
Why did you reverse?
No, I was just looking up the tour list of the Dead Topangas.
And, Dead Topangas.
Yeah. Where they're going to be playing next?
Coming to a boathouse near you.
The boathouse? Right.
There is a boathouse restaurant in Disney, so theoretically the Dead Topangas could do a wedding there.
Full circle. Full circle.
Right.
My God. Chip and Dale out front.
Some dolphins could wash ashore.
Some suicidal dolphins.
Yep. Suicidal dolphins. Different dolphins.
Different type of dolphins.
I'm not dropping hints to the, get the prize.
Right. If you submitted dying dolphins, you lose.
There's a whole world to build here.
Dolphin, that's a whole different app.
Yeah.
The Dead Topanga world has to be built. The songs, the albums, the album covers. There's a lot to build off of here.
The album covers 100%. There's
a lot to do.
Oh, I figured it out. I know why I'm a guest.
So you win the prize.
I do win the prize. It turns out it was the money, not the debt. So great job, me.
Good job.
I was comparing those episodes to a gasping dolphin.
Gotcha.
Like they were a beached whale of type.
Okay,
dolphins are not whales, but they were last breath episodes. I felt like that's where we really were.
Beached dolphin.
Yes.
So, I feel like we're splitting hairs. They're pretty much a whale. I mean, they're
kind of a whale, right?
Right. Yeah. They're mammals. Yes.
You ever swam with the dolphin, Greg?
I have sailed with dolphins.
Were they steering the ship?
I was using their fins to catch the wind.
That's exactly the picture in my head. That before you said that was Greg in some sort of sailor outfit with the
Captain Blowy
on there with him.
Yeah, right.
His Captain Blowy.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's a different movie.
His pirate crew of dolphins. I love this now.
That's a different movie. It's a different movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't swim with dolphins. Dolphins are voracious rapers. Everybody knows that.
Wait, have you swum with me? Or yes, it might be
oh my God.
Apples to oranges here.
Everyone knows.
Yeah, dude.
Everyone knows. Jesus Christ.
Jumped the track already.
All right. Last time on the show, we did characters playing a different character. So we had pirates. We had what else was in there?
Wow.
Stuff like that. We did have pirates last time.
We did have pirates.
Who else?
We had Casablancas.
Dead Topangas. Yeah, right.
Casablancas. Yep.
The Time Vortex, which should probably be another clip that we should put out. The Time Vortex.
That was good.
That exists in Boy Meets World.
Yeah, right. Jesus.
It's a weird set of episodes. So somewhere in there, we decided maybe we should do jump the shark moments.
Yeah.
Because this is all pretty bad. So at what point did these shows go completely off the deep end?
I have to start seriously considering that you hate me, Ryan.
You did text, can we do good ones next time?
Please, I'm begging you. Just let me watch a single good episode.
I am driving home this evening as we record, and I'm just getting a barrage of texts from Greg. All angry, angsty, doesn't want to watch this, and it's all bloop, bloop, bloop every 10 seconds. It's just... I can tell he does not want to do this.
He was ready to cancel.
Yeah. It doesn't autoplay, right? I realized on my last text that y'all have children, and there's a reasonable chance that if it just starts autoplaying.
Well, we're here to hurt you. It's jump the shark moments.
Wow. I'm involved in this too, you fucker. Like I had to sit through that shit just like he did.
You didn't complain though. You didn't complain like
more
Greg.
Patient than Greg,
You
but
are.
I still fucking hated it. But
all right, sorry.
This was. I mean, I started with Boy Meets World, and that might have been
the
biggest mistake.
Yep, me too.
One.
It just sets a bad tone. It's like
when
your appetizer is burnt, and you're like, shit, is the rest of the meal going to be like this? I ordered a very expensive steak.
Yeah. Well,
turns out yes.
Here's I'll go over how I did this. It was a little bit of a process. I'll go over how I did this. We've talked about Jump the Shark like other shows like Lost. We debated if Lost was or was not a Jump the Shark show. I think Greg, you said no, right?
I said the Jump the Shark moment was very late,
or late to the end, close to the end. We talked about The Office a whole bunch when Michael leaves. I'm trying to think what Game of Thrones. We talked about a bunch of these, I think, over the years. But okay, so this is what I did.
I feel like Jump the Shark isn't just like those are moments that turned it shitty, but like Jump the Shark, I feel like has to have a like vessel, like it has to have the Fonz jumping a shark. You know what I mean? Like
that's where it comes from. It comes from Happy Days
or
Fonz doing that crazy thing, which made it suck, and everything was shitty after that.
So like we watched Sabrina, and you mentioned in the comments no magic, and I was like, that's kind of weird. But like at some point, they basically made a decision that Sabrina the Teenage Witch shouldn't have magic in it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is the first.
It does have some magic. It does have some.
I understand that we'll get there. Like the problem is solved by magic, but it's minuscule. Compared to what the show used to be.
Yeah, exactly. There's like the whole show is not about magic.
It's just like at some point they just stopped using magic, and it's just like such a tonal shift.
Yeah. I think people who are listening to this should also know, like the episodes we watch, it's hard to find a Jump the Shark moment in these series, but I think all of them are a pretty good example of when the show went south. I think we're like around a nebulous like 4 or 5 episode bubble, and these episodes are all kind of right in the middle of it. And when we started seeing a noticeable decrease in quality and entertainment, across the board.
So here's how it worked. Here's what I did. I went into Chat GPT, and because I wanted to get a starting point. I didn't think they would actually give me the correct answer, because anytime I ask it for specific answers like this, it doesn't give good answers. So I said, what's the Jump Shark moment of TGIF shows? And I listed a bunch of stuff. So I went through. So each one I'll kind of give my reasoning. So the first one is that we're going to do is Sabrina, which is season 7, episode 2. I'll get into the background on what's going on. But the reason that I picked it, it said that both ants were gone at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the ants leaves in season 6 towards the end, and the other one leaves in the very first episode of season 7.
Which we watched, didn't we? I feel like we did.
We
the
maybe
first
saw one of them.
Didn't she move in
get
with
married
these people?
or something?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we saw.
I think we saw
or maybe the season
Punky
before.
Brewster move in with the ants. Maybe.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
That's what it was.
Yes, because like she wasn't wanted on Christmas or Thanksgiving.
Yeah. There was some. She moved in with them for some reason, but so it spit that out, and I thought that was a good. Even though I think maybe the college years of Sabrina are a little bit more of a like, oh boy, but it still had the ants.
It had
magic. Still had like.
Because that Halloween episode
ties to Harvey,
the zombies and shit. It was in that cafe. Right. There were still like supernatural, aspects to that show. It's just we'll get to it. We'll get to it. But my God,
there's no supernatural going on in this.
I feel like out of all the 4 that we picked, this is probably the closest to jumping, like an actual episode that jumps the shark. That is, it feels like it's a different show.
Yeah,
and this is also when the show went to WB.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not on ABC anymore. It got moved.
It's a totally different show that begrudgingly references old episodes.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. All right, it's Sabrina, season 7, episode 2, The Big Head. There's no more ants. Limited magic. The background description is Simply, Sabrina encounters an egotistical musician.
It's Backstreet Boy Howie D.
I have all your CDs. Well, actually, they're MP3s I downloaded off.
Oops. Sabrina, next on the WB Friday.
So they ditched the teenage witch even in the
Oh,
promo
yeah.
there. It was just
Wow.
Sabrina.
Just Sabrina.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Cancel the fucking show. Make a different show.
Right.
Make a show about a quirky young girl who gets a job at a newspaper.
Melissa Joan Hart will do it. She has
Right.
nothing.
It could be Melissa Joan Hart.
Right.
She could still do it. She could do
Right.
everything the same.
Yes.
With Punky Brewster.
With
But
Punky
then
Brewster.
you lose
Sure.
the cat and you lose Libby, which is total
Yeah.
not Libby. She's not Libby in the show. What's her name?
I call her Libby. Yeah.
I don't know. The sort of Libby.
The clueless,
The
Clueless
Libby like.
Yeah, Libby like.
clueless person.
You can just you can unshackle yourself from those old characters and just make a totally new thing.
Right. And like you said, Greg, it's clear they didn't want to have them involved. They didn't want this to be about magic and supernatural shit. So why bother? You should have just done a new show.
Sabrina, the regular person.
The magazine writer. The magazine writer. There's so much to say about
Just a regular old cat.
Yeah. Right.
just a show just about Salem would have been better.
You remember Caroline in the City?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the Sabrina sequel.
That's it.
Sabrina hanging out.
All right. We start with the roommates now live in the they all live in the house with no aunts.
Right.
How do they afford this castle? I don't know.
It's owned. There's no mortgage on that.
Money is imaginary in TGIF.
They've owned it for
Everybody gets a castle
500
by the
years.
end.
Everyone gets a castle. That's how TGIF works.
Yeah.
Oprah
right.
Day at TGIF.
You get
get
a castle, and you get a
and you get a castle.
The roommates send Sabrina. Where do they work? They send Sabrina off to her job. First day of being a reporter.
I would have punched both of these fuckers in the face if they gave me a sack lunch on my first day to work. Are you kidding me?
What in the world? And they're
Look, listen, Mark. Your first day of work, you open that door.
Uh-huh.
Drew and I are standing there, lunch in hand, hugs for days, high fives and butt slaps. You're thrilled on your first day of work. Okay,
not a bad way to
You're right.
go out the house. It's not a
Put it
bad
in
way.
perspective for me. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's right. Wait, what did you make me for lunch?
Ham and
Saltines?
cheese,
Ham
but
and
like
cheese.
a good one, man.
Oh shit!
Ham and cheese, but a good one.
Right.
Man,
It'll be like a tough day. It'd be a really tough day, and I'll be like at lunch, and nobody wants to sit with me because I'm the new guy.
right?
And then I
of
just
course.
unfold the note that you wrote me.
Yes.
Just, hey, you're the best, and I'm like,
And then in parentheses, you can always eat in the phone booth.
no one understands me.
Why is there a room full of clocks?
Just
Don't
for
go in there.
safety, probably, in
Don't go
case
in
one of them gets stuck somewhere.
Time clocks.
They have to turn one of those clocks into a time clock and get out of there.
Yeah.
You never know.
Doc Brown should have
They
been
also like home
plutonium everywhere.
movie videotape her as she's leaving. Like, what the fuck are you doing? She's like, I'm looking good, I'm feeling confident, and then we find out Salem was laying on her white jacket, so there's a bunch of fur on the back.
Yeah, but it gave
Oh,
it a totally dope pattern. He literally made that
Yeah.
jacket better.
it
This
did
was
make it look cool.
2002. That would have worked.
Yes,
That would have definitely worked.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She would have been a trendsetter.
Yeah. Right.
For some reason, this Jump the Shark episode, I guess because they're all later 90s, all the clothes are fucking wild
Okay.
in all these.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I liked about this is the nostalgia trip to like that 2001,
Yeah.
2002 moment in time.
It's like a
in fashion.
structure catalog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sure is.
Structure. I love structure.
Me too. I believe it or not, that's the second time I've talked about structure today.
It was the other with oven strength.
No, no, I
Okay.
didn't go to work. Come on.
Okay.
You should go to structure.
I had something to do for an hour in the middle of the day, so clearly I couldn't go to work.
Ew.
Busy.
They got it.
We immediately meet a weird guy who's a sales guy. He has frosted tips, which in 2002 I had frosted tips. Big
Oh,
fan
yeah.
of the frosted tip.
Yeah.
But he also had a
Did you post
soul
picture once of you with
soul
frosted
patch.
tips? I feel like
Have
I've
you seen a picture of me with those?
I've I feel like you showed us once. So
I may
it
have
was on the other podcast. I don't know.
It might have been. I have. I'll find old pictures of me. I have a picture of me with a mohawk. People like that one.
Nice.
From college.
I have one picture with a mohawk, but it's like really hard to see in the picture.
Yeah. There's a guy who's really dealing with some hair loss. It was good times when you had hair and you could do that. Anyway, this guy is the soul patch. He looks straight out of a Van Wilder movie.
He sounds like Bruce Campbell too. It was very unsettling.
Yes.
Yeah.
His name is Leonard. No one in 2002 named Leonard is going by Leonard.
No.
They're going
by
You think he's a Lenny?
Yeah. A Lenny.
Lenny or Nard. They're not Leonard. Come on.
Oh, Nard.
This? Yeah, right?
Sup, Nard?
But he calls himself that, so it's okay.
Right.
Only person who calls himself that. The only person who calls him that is Nard himself.
And Mrs. Nard, his mom.
Right.
Mrs.
Oh, your friends like you. Don't worry.
This office is wild. It's a professional office filled with tweens, teenagers.
What didn't look like this back then? This could be the Ally McBeal set.
Yeah.
Also, how many people work there? 500? Like
so many people work at this magazine.
My life.
Yeah, magazines were long dead by 03.
Right. Like we've seen Perfect Strangers episodes at the newspaper, and there's not that many people there. And that was in the late 80s when newspapers were a thing. So I guess, you know what? Who are we to judge? Maybe this magazine is the greatest thing in the world, and we weren't hip to it, you know?
It is a magical world.
Yeah.
So maybe people still read in Sabrina world.
Right.
Maybe they do.
I actually tried to subscribe to a paper newspaper recently.
Yeah.
Good fucking luck.
Just like to get a regular subscription delivered to you every day.
Yes.
Really?
Yep. The local paper still does a print one, and it says you can subscribe to it, but there's no way to do it online.
I think you have to call with your rotary phone.
Ew.
Yeah, I have to pass like an old person test before they'll mail me a newspaper.
I thought you said you're gonna have to pass an old person on the street. Like, hey, can you give me a subscription? Yes, dearie, don't worry, I got you.
You need.
Can I borrow their AARP card?
Yeah.
You need like a sad little kid.
Like, it's the reverse needing an ID for beer.
Right.
I need an AARP card for newspapers. And I assume to get into the Eagles club.
Yeah, right. You got it.
Yeah, right. In order to like the Eagles, you have to have an AARP card.
Excellent.
All right. Hot take, by the way, just because we mentioned paper. This is
fuck the elderly.
So I'm a big.
Oh, I thought we were giving hot takes.
It's my super hot take.
All right.
Liquidated. So, that'll fly in today's administration. Anyway, I playing the NES again. Paperboy, not a good game. I don't care what people
stinks.
say. The game sucks ass.
The game stinks. The only good thing about it is that dope ass music.
Yeah, the music's
what
good,
are the good games of any they're fun to play still?
What do you know of? Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Contra.
No, Metroid's not very fun anymore.
Oh, really? I like Metroid.
It's so hard to maneuver in that game.
It is.
Contra is still great.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of Castlevania, even though I understand like why it was popular.
Me neither. Right. And I'm a big Castlevania guy. And
I liked Symphony. When I got to Symphony of the Night, then I got really into it. But the first three are flawed. But
Mega Man, I would say Mega Man 2 is like
Mega Man 2,
real good.
Oh yeah.
You want a game with a kick-ass soundtrack, DuckTales? That game's fucking great for the soundtrack.
DuckTales is a great game too.
It's a good game too. It is just overall a good game, but but Paperboy sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks.
No, I'm with you, Mark.
I hadn't played in a while, and I'm like, I'm gonna pop this sucker in. Let's see what it is. Fucking gave up. Just this game blows.
Yeah,
it's so hard to aim.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
it's also like I can't even describe what a 3/4 3D. What is this?
Yeah,
like, it's
2.5D. They used to have a name for it, like isometric, something.
Really lame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Every time I pick up a retro game that I played as a kid and I try to play it now, I'm like, I can't play it anymore. Like
how
there's
did
so many.
I do this?
Like even GoldenEye.
That's the one I was going to bring up.
Pain in the ass to play now because the controller doesn't make sense anymore.
Really fucked with me when I picked up GoldenEye. It was on an N64 too, and I was just like, how was I this good? How was I good at this at one point?
It's so hard with
Those
one joystick.
Yeah, right.
I had a game growing up called T&C Surf Design. A lot of people had that game because it was one of those like kind of always bargainy games. I loved that game when I was a kid, and I remember beating all the levels. I can't get past the first stage now.
Right.
It's so hard.
Yeah. I remember getting like Super Star Wars, Super Empire Strikes Back, and just
those games are
dying
hard.
and dying and dying and dying and be like, this is great. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I have it now. It's not fun.
Yep.
It's wild.
All right. Well, our guy
maybe I don't need that AARP card.
Maybe not.
Maybe I can just fax him a transcript of this conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Video games are hard now.
My first video game system, the Odyssey.
All right. Well, Nard, our guy, Leonard, he had an idea for Limp Bizkit, a scratch and sniff centerfold.
Oh, I've been listening to a ton of Limp Bizkit lately. They're great.
What's your favorite Limp Bizkit song?
Wow. That's a hard one.
That's a tough one. I'm still trying to decide if this is a joke or real, and I'm going to lean towards real. I'm leaning towards you really are enjoying them.
I really love Limp Bizkit. It's probably Counterfeit.
Counterfeit. How's that one go again?
You're freaking me out. You wore a mask called Counterfeit. You're freaking me out. You were a fake.
Okay.
Shit, I'm here. I'm there again. My God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But I like a lot of stuff off of Chocolate Starfish. Yeah. I like their My Generation. Like that one's really fucking good.
What's the one at the end with like Method Man and Redman? I always like that. Rolling with Method Man and Redman.
So you're you're talking about the Urban Assault remix of Rollin'.
I like
which
that.
had Method Man, Redman, and DMX on it.
Yes.
I'm fairly sure that you cannot listen to that song on streaming platforms right now. Wow. Oh, that's a lie. You can, but there's a song with Exhibit off of Chocolate Starfish that you can't, and it sucks because that song was real good.
What was that song? I remember liking Exhibit.
That was Get Your Groove On.
Yeah.
There's a remix
I liked Exhibit.
they put in its place when you listen to it, but it's not as good.
Wait, so why can't you listen to it? Is it just legality?
I suspect it's a rights thing. I suspect they lost whatever rights to the sample. That happens a lot. Happens a lot on soundtracks too. Like if you go to the Godzilla soundtrack, there's 8 songs on it because they eventually lost the rights to half the songs on it.
Shit.
You know, Warner Brothers put it out. They lost the rights to the Sony songs, so now you only get to listen to half the album.
That sucks because that album was great.
Support physical media.
I don't want to listen to the Wallflowers. It's horrible.
Well, speaking of physical media, I desperately need to get my hands on Sabrina because trying to track this episode down was a bitch. Because this has been the one you could always find. It was on like 3 different streaming services, and now it's not on anything except for Paramount. But only 3 seasons are on there. What the fuck?
Yeah,
it must be a rights issue.
Did you see all the Warner Brother artists on the wall with Green Day and Linkin Park behind her?
Well, it did move to the WB.
Yeah.
I'm sure Limp Bizkit was probably on Warner Brothers if they got a shout out.
They dropped a couple bands too, I think, too. Like actually just said them out loud instead of just had them in the background. So, yeah.
Sabrina talks to the head editor, boss lady, and says, this magazine is cutting edge. And also about music. Okay. She says, I'm here to be a reporter, so what do I do? Get the interns coffee? Damn. She's like, I want an assignment.
You know what interns do? They get you coffee. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
What's happening here? So somehow she weasels her way into the biggest story on the board. She gets to interview Strum, who's a big rock star. Strum.
You know what would have helped her in this situation? What's it called? Oh, magic.
Right. You know, that thing she's been using for 7 straight years.
Yeah, the premise of the show.
Right.
You know, that could have helped you get noticed or make her think that you're a better writer or something.
make a doppelganger. Like you did that once. Like do
Yeah.
it again. Just
Right.
right. Send that person out.
The boss says that humor thing you're doing, I don't do it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
The
Got
whole
it.
show doesn't do it.
Yeah, there's no jokes in this entire thing. Salem talks to the roommates, and then for a while I was like, why are they not responding? Oh, they can't hear him. He's got like a weird echo, like reverb on his voice, meaning that it's his inner monologue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of took me a while to pick up on that. Like, what the hell's going on?
Who gives a fuck? Tell Punky Brewster that you're a witch.
You can't now.
Why not? Oh, because she's not a witch?
No,
She's not a
can
witch
take it.
anymore.
She watched the Challenger explode in that one Punky Brewster episode. She can take this. This is fine.
Punky can do it. Strum comes in for the interview, and Sabrina says, I've listened to all your MP3s that I downloaded off of I bought.
That got a nostalgic
That was
chuckle
nice.
out of me.
Right.
Nice little Napster joke.
I will say, what do you think it would have been? Napster? Napster's the most famous.
Yeah.
Oh,
Has
it's
to be
definitely Napster.
Man.
I think once it went to like LimeWire and Kazaa and all that shit, I think they actually lost a lot of people. Napster was so easy.
Yes, it sure was. LimeWire was pretty easy too, although it did give you AIDS. Your computer got AIDS.
It killed my computer.
Yeah.
Napster was theoretically sort of safe.
It was clean. Yes, it was.
Kazaa was a vile beast spawned from the hell of internet.
iMesh. I remember iMesh was also real fucking scandalous. So.
That was when the world was your oyster. I'd be like, Jimi Hendrix, I like one of his songs. Give me every album he's ever made.
Right. 4 days later, you'll have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had so many downloads going. It's like all night long downloads. And then one of my friends who lived a couple houses down, I don't know if I told this story. He downloaded a song and got sued. Did I tell you about this story on the show?
No kidding.
He got sued. He downloaded the Justin Timberlake song when he like officially went out on his own. I forget what that song was.
Yeah.
He downloaded that song, which is a big song, and they sued him. He had to go to court for it. And then we graduated, so I don't know like what the wrap up was.
That solves all. He's done now.
He's like, I'm being sued by whatever record label it was.
Wow.
For downloading a song. And I said, what song? He's like, Justin Timberlake. Like, oh my God, of all the songs. Why would you do that?
Nobody on this podcast has ever gotten a cease and desist letter from a celebrity or anything. So okay.
I didn't get a cease and desist letter from a celebrity.
Oh boy.
I got a cease and desist letter from a celebrity's friend.
Sure. That was a lawyer?
He said so, but I didn't believe him.
Okay, we'll talk about that later off the air. Strum works out while he's being interviewed. He makes his goons lift for him. He's Howie from the Backstreet Boys, making his second Sabrina appearance.
Yes, right.
Ooh, he's like the Steve Martin of Sabrina guest.
He is. He's back, baby. Sabrina finishes the article, gives it to her boss, and the boss is like, this is a puff piece. What is this? We're cutting edge. Did you not listen to any of the things that I said to you?
We were previously talking about Limp Bizkit. Does that mean nothing to you?
You need to write
Are
it
you
again.
not limping with the biscuit?
Keep rolling. Right. What?
I have that tattooed across my chest.
Yeah.
That's our company's mission statement.
Let me show you. Hold on. It is WB now. We can do this.
We have the rights. Meanwhile, the girls, the roommates, they're sick of Salem being on the furniture. So they get him a shock collar and start electrocuting him.
What a succinct way of putting that.
The sad thing is that when you say that, I picture them just sitting there going, zzz, zzz, zzz.
They kind of do.
That's exactly
They
what
kind
they
of do it.
Yes.
They do it. At the end, they both grab the remote and go like, let's get him.
At the end, they put it onto like cattle strength and shock him to the fucking ceiling.
Oh my God.
Does cat torture make you tired, Ryan?
Yes.
Okay.
These episodes.
I am bored of this topic.
Yeah.
These episodes, man.
Yeah.
We meet Cole Harper, new handsome guy, who used to work for Rolling Stone.
Too many people.
You're
I
at
know
my
Hunter Thompson.
desk.
Yes. How many fucking people do they want me to meet?
Yeah, right.
There's not. That's not all. There's more after this.
Yeah, there sure are.
The editor says, rewrite it. We get more cat training, shock collar training. And then Sabrina, we see this montage of Sabrina writing her article.
Yeah,
this scene makes no sense. We have no magic in this new version of Sabrina, or limited, very, very limited magic. She uses magic, though, in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
As she's writing this article, when she doesn't like it, instead of crumpling up a paper like you would in the old times, she crumples a laptop, and there's just 100 laptops strewn about the room, and she keeps conjuring them with her fucking magic wand, like another laptop, please, so I can rewrite the. Yo, you can just fucking delete.
Yeah,
it's a Word doc.
Windows 2000 had that shit. Come on, you're fine.
What are we doing here? This isn't even funny, and it doesn't make any sense.
You could sum up Sabrina season 7 like that.
Oh my god, that got me fired up. Salem's been shocked so many times. He shows up in screen, and he's literally smoking. He's burned.
That'll draw the people in. Cat torture.
Yeah, animal torture.
Yeah.
So Sabrina rewrites the article where she roasts Scrum. It says he's a piece of shit. So then he gets mad and he says, fire her. He comes back to the magazine. He's not on tour or anywhere else. He says, I'll sue unless you apologize on stage. So then Soul Patch guy, Leonard, aka Nard, he pops in and says, you know what she should do? She should do it like in a bikini in a bean dip by being dipped in bean dip on stage. What the fuck is happening?
Come on, Nard. You're better than that.
Nard. So her editor is like, I'm going to stand by my writer, and then immediately is like, sued? Oh, yeah, she's doing the apology on stage.
That's accurate.
Yep. Let's see.
Do you feel like Sabrina showed like this was slightly more sexual than
there's a lot of sex stuff going
on
all through all the episodes?
Yeah, right.
They talk about like wearing a halter top. She should be wearing a halter top. She should be looking hot.
Too. Yeah,
she's definitely showing more skin. We see Salem's now been shock trained to get the girls stuff. Like, give me my mascara, okay?
I just love that we alternate between like stupid journalism segment and cat torture. Journalism, cat torture. Journalism, cat torture.
We meet another.
Taylor was born.
There's another guy we meet. He looked. At first, I thought it was
Zodiac write this
from MTV and Van Wilder, but it's not. It's just a different guy wearing those kind of clothes. But there's another guy, Sabrina's other friend who works there. Other guy.
Yeah. Why are they introducing us to all these people?
Can't keep up.
They try to help, but they're not helpful. None of the other reporters are helpful.
I would kill for a boathouse right now where I can just settle down and figure everything out.
Rolling Stone guy says compromise in journalism is important. No, it's not.
Do you think Rolling Stone guy worked with Hunter Thompson? Because that would
he must have. He must have.
Hunter put a cigarette out on his face or something.
Yes, he definitely got him to be fired. Salem has a dream that he's being electrocuted to death because he's being tortured.
I love his black cat line.
Yeah, right.
That was kind of funny.
Yeah,
he's the only funny one in the episode, as per usual.
Yeah. It never once occurred to me that the human that got turned into Salem might be black.
Yeah,
really.
We never see him.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We must see him at some point.
I would assume it's Nick McKay. Like when in the flashback,
yeah, it's definitely Nick McKay.
Like, there's no way they wouldn't give it somebody else.
And I always forget about Nick McKay. He was on Sports Center. He had like a segment on every Sports Center.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
This is wild. All right. So he's on death row. Sabrina goes to do her apology. She goes backstage. And Scrum says, I want to spank you on stage while you're doing your apology. What the fuck is happening? So she uses magic and turns his head into a big giant head.
Let's remember that's the name of this episode is Big Head, right?
Yes.
For a joke that lasts 20 seconds.
He has a big head. He says, help me. She says, you can only help yourself. He doesn't freak out or question this or do anything. Like, what'd you just do to me? Nothing.
Nope.
She says, maybe if you like fixed your attitude, your head wouldn't be a problem anymore. So he starts saying nice things and his head keeps getting smaller. The special effects are super bad. They're crazy weird.
Real bad.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah.
Like world-endingly embarrassing.
It looks like they just zoomed in. That's what it was. It wasn't
and
even like
filtered it over the top.
Right,
it's real weird. Yeah. He says some nice stuff and his head gets smaller, but then he says, I won't spank you, but private spankings are available after the show. And then his head gets a little bigger and she's like, nope. And then he has to fix it, and then he is good and he goes out to play the show. Ah, boy. Salem, she doesn't have to apologize, after all. Salem sets up a shock collar trap on the couch for Amber so he can shock Amber to death. But doesn't happen. He does say a funny line where she's like, I'm going to send you something. And he goes, I'm going to send you to the moon! Which I laughed at. And then she says, you can join me on the couch too. And he goes, no. And he falls, lands on the couch, gets shocked again, flies through the ceiling. Not good. Sabrina and the editor talk about her being fired. And she says, oh, I can't, after all this. Oh, I can't fire. Only Jonathan can fire. We've never even seen, we met 19 people. We never met Jonathan.
Ooh. I thought it was the handsome Rolling Stone guy.
No,
it's not. Yeah.
That's like Caleb or Cole or something.
It's like the end of the movie, The Black Dahlia. The guy who did it is introduced 5 minutes into the end of the movie. You're like, wait, what?
That's right. Yes. It was me the whole time. I knew you suspected it, but I won in the end.
Only Jonathan. Only Jonathan could fire you. What? Who's Jonathan? Back at home, the roommates are mad because Salem keeps pooping in their shoes.
Got him.
Getting you back. He keeps pooping in their shoes.
I found the answer. Salem has appeared in human form, but we never see his face. He's either veiled in shadow, we only see his feet, or he has inhabited the body of another character.
Okay.
So there's some hot Salem lore, hot off the presses
of
what's it? It's Scorch magazine.
Scorch.
Was that it? The name Scorch?
I think it was Scorch.
I can't believe I remember that. I barely know my name half the time.
Salem.
Scorch. Let's start a magazine.
Sure.
Only about controversy. Controversy.
We have 3 subscribers. Well, 2. I don't want to subscribe, but
I'm not doing.
All right,
none of us, but somebody will. Nicole, right? Nicole.
Yeah.
We'll get her. Why not? All right. They go to shock the fuck out of Salem now, turn it all the way up. And instead, Sabrina's got the shock collar and they shock her and her hair's all weird.
The end. Funny if Sabrina died there.
Yeah. That was
then if the show was just about Punky Brewster and Libby.
And they never brought it up.
And
it was
Salem.
Just like, Salem works at the magazine now.
Yeah. I like the idea of Salem trying to kill the roommates. I think that's a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
so that was Jump the Shark, Sabrina.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I said, though, I think this is probably out of all of them, the episode that I really do feel like, oh my God, at this point, there's no coming back. Like we are real.
They took a gamble that the appeal of Sabrina was the characters.
Yeah.
And I don't think that
was the characters that people liked are all gone.
Right.
Well,
like the ants are gone.
It was fantasy. It was a fantasy show for kids. They liked doing fantasy stuff. They liked
Harvey
homework with magic.
Harvey's gone. There's no Harvey.
They like cute guys and going to concerts, not getting bean spanked by a Backstreet Boy.
That's on my bucket list, so I don't know what you're talking. Oh no, it's 98 degrees. Sorry.
Right.
Or
Not you, Nick. I want
Only
your
if
brother.
only if it was a hot boy. Hey.
Boys, we're going to see him. What?
That's right.
July 4th, baby.
O-Town's coming to
We are going
town.
to officially see the Hot Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Ashley Parker Angel.
Ashley Parker Angel.
AKA Angel Parker Angel, as you called him once, which I like better. Double Angel.
Eric Estrada. I don't think that's his name.
2 for 2. No, you got it.
I like your name.
The other
better.
guy,
Yep.
and
Not Sweet Lou.
not Sweet Lou. Yeah, I suspect pretty strongly that Sweet Lou won't be there.
Well, he is in a blimp in the sky.
Spirit,
Yeah, right.
yes.
Who knew
physical,
Diddy would be worse? We talked about
no,
this
not
before,
so
but
much,
somehow
yes.
Diddy passed
Right.
a couple times.
The
Sweet Lou.
multi-million-dollar Ponzi scheme guy
Mhm.
turned out to be the more upright, making the band producer.
Which is just nuts.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, we got to move on to Step by Step. Okay. Now, my thought process on Step by Step was they said somewhere in season 6 or something like that. I don't know if it ever truly. The ChatGPT prompt said Jean-Luc Reperu was the Jump the Shark.
It's
I
pretty
don't
close.
totally hate Jean-Luc Reperu,
No.
and you brought that up, Mark.
I did, because like the episodes we've seen him in, I've enjoyed. I really liked him in the Western one. I thought he was the best thing of that
Yeah.
Western episode. So I get what they're saying by introducing a whole new character who is also somebody that like we've seen. I mean, the actor we've seen before, so it does kind of feel
Right.
stapled on a little bit.
And we love Balky, so
Right,
Yeah.
and that's also hard for me to view him as anything other than Balky. So I kind of dug my heels in a little bit. But
I hated this.
what?
So
I hate Jean-Luc Depardieu.
you hate Jean-Luc Reperu?
I mean, I can't divorce it from Balky, but the truth of the matter is, it really reminded me of just a poor Robin Williams impression.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
It was just all over. It's like
Yeah.
he's touching Frank, and he's switching between accents, and he's moving all over the place. He's popping up places, and dude, please chill out. I hated this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, so they said that. So I said, okay, well, it's got to be somewhere where Cody is gone. And then I was looking back, and I'm like, okay, I think the pivot point is Flash, the character that's between Cody leaves, and then 2 episodes later, this Flash dude shows up who works with Frank. And he becomes like a big deal for 4 episodes. And then they clearly are like, Flash don't work. And they kick him to the curb. And then they bring in Jean-Luc Reperu. And I still feel like even like some of, maybe not all, Step by Step definitely wasn't as good when Cody wasn't in it. But it's still not really, really bad as some of the other ones. It never fully went off the cliff.
But there is, though, like I feel like that when Cody leaves, that is the point. That is the jump the shark moment. When he's gone, it does.
It's lost. It's a little lost.
Yeah, right. Right. Directionless. I feel like this was a good episode to do because it was, like I said, in between these two kind of zany characters where you can kind of compare them. You know, Balky compared to what we had with Cody, and it doesn't feel right. None of it feels right. So I feel like this is a good, like I said, bubble episode to talk about.
Yeah. So as I was looking at the Flash episodes, we had watched the last Cody appearance.
Yes. Yep.
And then Flash shows up basically for the Disney episodes.
Right. We have seen
And then he does this one, and then I think that's it. And then I think he's gone. And then Jean-Luc is in the next
was Flash in this episode?
At the beginning.
Yeah.
Where at the beginning?
Where he like moves in with them.
You watched the wrong one, didn't you?
You watched You watched the
all right, well, that's actually interesting.
Yeah.
I like this perspective.
Yes, good.
Because you're gonna give us
Oh, whoops. Was there an alternate one?
I said this one or this one, and Mark said the Flash one.
No, I missed that. I watched the Balky one.
No, good. That's good.
That's actually interesting.
Right. Yes.
All
I want to talk about this.
All right. All right, so it's called Men at Work. It's Step by Step, Season 5, Episode 24. JT and Rich learn about sexual harassment. Frank converts his basement into a lounge.
Afternoon, ladies. Hey, Ronnie, looking good.
Give it a rest, Mr. Packwood.
Okay, we got a couple new guys working the lunch shift. I want you to give them a big, friendly welcome. JT, Rich, come on out here. You guys look terrific. You're going to be a big hit with the lady customers. Okay, it's time to open. Man your battle stations.
This is your first day, right?
Yep.
Word to the wise. The women who come in here are just like the men. They like to squeeze the buns, and I don't mean the ones on the hamburgers.
I can't believe these women. They're like total sex fiends. Tell me about it. I feel like a piece of meat out here.
Hey, you guys should be glad it's just talk. Wait until they start putting their hands all over you.
That's disgusting. This place stinks.
Yeah, I'm this close to quitting, but I really need the money. Job, creep!
What? Just gave you a friendly little pat. Hey, pal, what's your problem? You heard the lady. Hands off.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
This...
Hey, wait up, guys. I quit too. There's got to be another way to make a living.
I quit too, guys.
Those outfits were sexier than a jumpsuit. I don't know. Like
They were not
supposed
sexy.
to be really hot, and it's like no, they definitely weren't. They're very.
You don't like
cover
this-
everything.
Head to toe spandex at your titty bars.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's power through and let's hear about the other episode too.
Yes. Yes.
Frank and Carol are returning from a date. They're making out in the car because they finally are alone with their house full of people. And there's a knock at the window, and it's Flash. And Frank says, I'm busy. And Flash goes, oh, okay, take your time. And he just like leans on the window and waits for them to finish making out. And Frank wants to keep making out, of course. So he says, might be interesting if someone watches. And Carol hits him.
A line drive down the third baseline right
And
there.
they are just awesome in this episode.
Oh,
For
they
Jump
are.
the Shark as this is, they are in full
Those
form.
two are wonderful. Yep.
Flash follows him into the kitchen. He's so fucking annoying. He's not fun. He says he has to drive from Kansas City to work. And then Frank says, good. And then starts kissing Carol again. Like, does not care one bit. And then Carol says, I think you should probably stay here. I don't think you should drive. Maybe ever, because he's so stupid. I don't think you should ever drive at all. And then this is so bad. Frank says, Carol, you have no idea what you just got us into. He has so much crap. She's like, what? How much could he have? One bag? And he comes in playing bagpipes
And that goes on for a
for
while.
a long time. Jesus Christ.
But
So
the funny
bad.
thing is, that's pretty much the end of him for this episode.
It might be it.
Right. He's supposed to move in. He's supposed to be the next Cody. Next episode, he's gone.
Yeah.
And even in this episode, he has like another 30 seconds of airtime, and that's it.
And I do kind of feel bad for Step by Step because they didn't know Cody was going to get arrested
Right,
and all this
yeah,
stuff.
right.
They had to change the shit on the fly.
Right.
Like how did that totally messed everything up? I guarantee it. It had to have. Like I guarantee Cody was doing some of this Flash stuff.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Right
I mean,
in
we
the
watched
Disney World
that
episode.
Disney episode. That was
It
so
was
Cody.
so
That was
Cody, right? They
Yeah,
just
right.
changed him out for a different dude.
correct. Yeah.
Rich and JT balance soda cans on their head, and they say they're two cool guys. How come we can't get chicks? Dana walks in and makes fun of them with her protest pals. They've been protesting down at Yabo's, which is basically a Hooters with worse clothes. JT says, what are you doing? Is this a gathering of the gym teachers of America? Okay. Rich says,
Out, though, by the way, Yabos. The only other time I've ever heard that was in the movie Hocus Pocus, which that guy was also in. JT's friend.
oh, yeah.
Oh,
Rich.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe Rich
Rich
was a
is-
writer too.
Rich is in every TGIF program,
He
too.
Sure is. And
He's in everything, right? Rich
Roger gave
says,
him some lessons there. Told him how
Maybe.
to punch it up.
punch that shit up. Right? They needed Roger in these episodes. Rich says some gross shit about, why don't you strap on your go-go boots and dance with us instead? And then they all storm out and say you're disgusting because it's so fucking
It's
weird
true.
to take
Yeah,
that
it's
turn.
Weird.
And then he sits down and goes, she wants me. Because he has a crush on Dana. Which the she wants me is funny, but
Yeah.
the rest of it, not so much. These are so sexualized, these children.
Yeah, they do end up together though, right?
They do.
I remember like him and
Yeah, I'll
do
tell
end
you
up
about
together.
that. That's what happened in my episode.
Oh, all right.
Perfect.
Do you want to just sprinkle it in, or you want to wait till the end?
I'll just do it at the end, I suppose.
All right. Frank says, my favorite bar went out of business, but I had a foreclosure sale and I bought everything for a song. So now the basement will become the men's clubhouse. And Flash shows back up and says, here's Herbie the moose, which is like an animatronic moose that burps. And Carol is very annoyed. But hey, we're going to see the fucking basement. I was excited.
We're going to see Brendan's house.
We see Brendan in the basement.
We do, where he just never leaves. That's it.
JT calls Victoria's Secret's business line and says, "Hi, I'm Steven Spielberg, and I need the number for the model on page 13 because I want to put her in a movie. Can I have her number?" What is the second part of this plan, JT?
I love it. He's good at business, man.
He's good at business.
Right. JT Disney Spielberg.
I love JT Spielberg Disney. And I also love Dana. She comes down and says, is it Al? It's Dana, Al, and Karen. They come down and they look at them doing this. I think Al says it with his, like, Al is always great. She goes, why don't you two idiots just date each other after all this?
This was funny. Because JT and what's his name stare at each other, kind of give each other like a
they think about it.
Like they think about it for a second. They're like, no,
we can't.
Yeah, right.
They instead come up with this idea to work at Yabo's to get chicks. Okay. So they're going to be in hot pants. Rich says, do you know what I'm thinking? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? And JT goes, you're thinking dirty thoughts about my stepsister. I'm not thinking those thoughts. And Rich was like, no. We're going to work at Yabo's. We see Frank's basement. I love this shit. I loved everything in the basement. I'm so sorry you didn't see this.
Right. The basement is incredibly well done, but he also is a contractor. So I'm like, all right. Like, I can
it makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah. I love this whole bit. For as jump the shark as the rest of it is, this basement bit is a great bit. Frank's got 3 TVs going. He's got hay on the ground. He's got a mechanical bull.
Which he said he rode for 2 hours straight.
Yes.
Yep.
Carol comes down. She goes, it's a dump. And then we see Mark eating nuts, and he spits them on the ground. And Carol's like, that's disgusting. We got to clean that up. And Frank stops her and goes, no. It's a guy's place. We can do that. We'll just clean up the trash at the end of the month. And then he says, Carol, I'd like to introduce you to Rolling Thunder, which is the mechanical bull. And then she goes, Frank? And he goes, no, not that. Not a sex move. I mean the mechanical bull. I'd like to introduce you to Rolling Thunder.
Well, they're probably up to the R's at this point.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, God. He says, not many women are tough enough to ride old Thunder. Which she, like, turns, like, a weird eye to him and says, like, I was in labor for, like, 20 hours, dude. I can do anything. She walks out. We see JT and Rich being waiters.
Have they had the kid at this point?
Yes. Yeah.
How come we don't see her at any point?
I don't know.
With a baby, you kind of always have to be with the baby.
Somebody's watching that baby. Al, maybe? I don't know. Brendan? No. The customers like to squeeze buns at Yabo's, says the other waitress. And then we see the old ladies come in and hit on the guys, and they don't like it. They don't like being sexually harassed by these women. Everything's a come on. They're sex fiends. Then we see Carol going into the basement at night to clean up secretly when no one's in the man house, the man basement. And she sees the thunder. And she's going to get on it. And then Frank scares her and he goes, I knew you'd like old Thunder. Flash comes down and he says, don't worry, I'll guard the door and make sure the kids don't come down.
What?
Are you fucking kidding me? What is this?
Thanks for being our sex royal guard.
He thinks about it for a second.
Yeah.
They're on it together, getting tossed around, and Flash has to unplug it. It's a very funny scene, which clearly not either one of them is two stunt people with wigs.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to Yabos. We see the guys don't like being harassed. They get the old lady drops a spoon and goes, "Pick that up, please," and then they pinch his butt. The owner gets mad and says, when JT confronts them, and says, "That's what they paid for, to be able to harass you." That's part of the deal. So they all quit. And then we see the two goofs back on the couch with soda cans on their heads, which is like a thing of like the 90s and 2000s with your buddies where you're like, you get bored. You do stupid shit. There was no streaming services. There was no internet, or very limited internet.
Man, JT on the internet would be a dangerous thing.
That would be bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Very, very
bad. A Reddit warrior. He would be the fucking GameStop GME guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You make it work though. Because
no doubt.
He is good at business.
Ghostfucking.org.
It's not a mean stock anymore once JT Disney gets involved.
.org.
Spielberg. I'm sorry. They got married.
Disney Spielberg. Mm-hmm. Dana and her protesters come back. They're now going to protest Dirty Harry's. Please sign a petition to shut down Dirty Harry's. And then they go, Dirty Harry's, isn't that the mud wrestling place? What kind of business is this?
Yeah. That's
mud wrestling place.
It was the Attitude Era, man. Everybody had a mud wrestling
Attitude Era. Yeah.
True, right.
Braun panties matches. So they sign the petition. Why are they not, like, here's a missed opportunity. Why are they not hitting on the other women, being like, yeah, we are freedom fighters. Look what we did. We shut down Yabos. Like, date us because we're doing, no.
We're sensitive. Right.
Disgusting men, and they care about the mud wrestling. They sign the petition, and then as the three women leave, they look at each other and realize there's one more night to check out the mud wrestling place before it closes. Let's go.
Man, JT would need a lot of hydration if he discovered the internet.
It would be bad. Yeah, it would be very bad. He would never leave. Just a pile of socks, floor to ceiling. This at the end I did like, though. When we get back and we see all of them ride the bull. We see everybody on the bull, including Brendan.
Yes.
He gets to ride the bull too.
No lines, though. Apparently he gets a line in the next episode, but no line.
He gets a line in the next episode. We see him on the bull. We see Mark on the bull. We see
Al.
We see Al go on the bull. We see Carol love the bull. Like, she's very into the bull. She loves it until it gets a little too crazy.
Gets it.
It's like shakes her up and she's like,
nice.
Ooh. Yeah. Like that Howard Stern scene. She's like, ooh, this is great. And then Frank gets on. He said he was on for 2 hours. He's the last one. He gets on and he falls off instantly.
Yeah.
That's the last thing that happens. And that was this episode. But Greg.
A classic.
You loved it, right?
One of my faves.
That was definitely one of
straight to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Jean-Luc Reperu episode.
Yeah,
give us the quick. Give us the cliff notes.
Yeah, give me
Jean-Luc stinks. He's shitty when they're playing Monopoly, and then they go on a romantic spa getaway. And who should appear in the hot tub with them but Jean-Luc? But
yes,
it turns out that when Frank tells him to buzz off, he gets insulted. But it is in fact his birthday. And he had planned a romantic 3-way birthday picnic for him and Frank and Carol.
What the fuck?
That is your A plot.
3-way picnic?
It does not improve from there.
This is why it's not the jump to shark moment.
Yeah, right.
Flash is way more of a jump shark.
The B plot. Dana is doing college tutoring.
Okay.
But surprise, her student is Richie? Is that his name?
Rich.
His student is Rich. And they fall in extremely lustful romantic love over the homework. And Dana turns into boy, an unsatiable sex hound.
I want to watch this now.
Yeah, right.
He's like wearing these like tight little dresses and like giving him kisses for getting B's on papers and everything. It's amazing.
Oh my god.
I want to see this.
Honestly, the it's a pretty bad episode. The A plot stuff is real harsh.
Right, which is rare for Step by Step. Usually the A plot is not bad. It's pretty good. So.
There's about a 4-minute scene where JT finds them kissing in the kitchen. It's real good.
Oh,
like he screams and he starts shaking Rich, and all the kids come down. Oh, and so my text probably didn't make any fucking sense to you.
Yeah,
no,
I remember seeing him, but I don't remember having a line.
Brendan had a line.
Wow.
I don't remember what it was. It was uneventful.
All right.
But I remember it sucked.
Yeah.
And that's when I texted who the fuck gave Brendan a line. But now I'm realizing that doesn't make any sense for you.
Well, he was in the basement and he may have said something, but I don't think he did.
I don't think he did either. I think he was on the bull. That's the only time I ever saw him.
He was also watching TV at one point when Mark spits on the ground. He was watching TV then.
But I love how in this same season we get the Western episode where Brendan also has a line. And that's it.
A single line.
Also, very strange that they left this in, but Bronson Pinchot laughs twice in this episode, unintentionally, like Jimmy Fallon style.
Really?
Wow.
There's I forget what the second one was specifically, but the first one is like Frank is sort of pushing him out the door, like with his face, and you can see Bronson Pinchot like actively laughing at it, and then it happens again.
Weird.
Like, it's just very strange, both from a professional and why didn't you just edit that out?
Right.
We also get a boom mic in Boy Meets World, so that was exciting.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, because I mean, the writing is what we really focus on with Boy Meets World. The craft is sort of a secondary thing. Like, we're just shooting it down and dirty. What really matters is, all that.
We're not worried about that
smart guy action they're throwing out there.
Hot smart guy action. All right. Well, I think
where do you shoot hot guy, or where do you shoot smart guys out of? If hot guys come from a blimp, what do smart guys come out of?
Wow.
A gasping dolphin's mouth.
They just crawl out, Bloodborne style.
Yeah. It's the plot to the movie Prometheus.
I'll have to think about what smart guys get shot out of.
Black goo. Okay. All right. Well, that was fun, actually. Good mistake,
I'm glad we got both of that. Yeah, that was good.
I do kind of, I could be wrong about this, but I kind of remember an episode of Step by Step where Dana and Rich are like ready to bang, ready to have sex, and they won't because they can't, because they're not married or something. But they're like seniors in college or something. Like, what? Also, you're 22 years old. We can't do it.
Didn't Dana almost bang somebody when she was 17? Remember in Hawaii or wherever the hell that was?
Gonna marry him.
Yeah, she was gonna marry that guy. Yeah.
Well, then it would
1 week after she was gonna marry that other guy.
Right. It's better to marry them a week after you meet them, than to know somebody for 10 plus years,
right,
and not have sex.
Then you have to break out the sheet, and you have to have sex with the sheet, and listen to Dean tell you how to have sex, and it's just
Oh boy, Dean.
break out the Vince McMahon tapes.
Oh no!
Roll in the V8.
Not him. Has it come around? Can we do the Vince McMahon instructional video?
Close. I feel like we can do it.
We're not. Once the lawsuit is settled, then we can go back to it. Oh God, we settled that already. Get Vince McMahon to pay you a lot of money, and we can do this.
We want to break out that joke again because we enjoy it. Our listeners might not, but we enjoy it.
Boy, I did that for like a month, and my wife was ready to kill me. It's like,
Greg and I were
why do you keep doing that?
We were at like New York Comic Con, and I was almost dying in the other room because we were bringing that up.
Oh God! All right, we'll wait for that settlement, then we'll bring it back. All right, moving on. Boy Meets World, Season 6, Episode 5, Better Than Average Cory. Okay. I got the prompt from okay. I got the prompt from ChatGPT. Let me get the background here. Got the prompt.
These robots are the worst.
Yeah.
Turns out it's the robot that hates me, not you.
Is that what it is? No, what I tweaked from the robot.
This is their way to get at us. This is like the
Is
first
that
step
what
of the
it is?
revolution. Yeah, they're trying to wear us down, Ryan. You're just
Well-
playing into their game.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to
fucking
humanity. 'Cause you're letting
Skynet.
them down.
I'm sorry.
Betrayer.
Skynet's gotten thing into me. Okay, so it said at the end of season 6 is when Boy Meets World is technically jumped the shark, and I go, no, that's not fucking right, ChatGPT. It's got to be way before that. So I started going through. I started going through every episode, and I was like, okay, well, there's the breakup. There's a ton of breakup, get back together, marriage, whatever, all those plots. And I was like, okay, it's got to be like Feeney is now the dean or some bullshit. Like we had that super emotional, which we haven't done yet, which is one of the better episodes probably of Boy Meets World, with the graduation where they say goodbye to Feeney and all that. And then he's just back in the next episode. Like, I now work here too. Like, what the fuck? We just had that whole emotional goodbye to you, and now you're working here again and in every episode? Like, okay, I like Feeney, but what the fuck? Why isn't he just the neighbor? So I was like, okay, it's got to be somewhere in that frame. So like at the beginning of season 6 is like a 2-parter. We get back together and get engaged. And then there's the episode where Feeney like and the bees and all that crap that we already did is somewhere in there as well, where the Cory and Sean get suspended for doing pranks or whatever. Like that arc is in there.
That could have been it.
That was bad, but we've already seen it.
Episode. Yeah.
And then I came across this Better Than the Average Cory, and I was like,
yeah,
I remember seeing this at the time and thinking this fucking sucks.
I actually said that to Kat.
Don't like
I was like,
guy.
I told her what we were doing, and she's like, I remember that episode.
Yeah, it's
really
bad.
Yeah.
Wow. I came into this completely blind. I did not remember this
Me
episode.
neither.
I don't remember every detail, but I remember Alan being like, "You're a dick." Like,
I should
what?
ask, man.
This is one
Nicole
of the
watched
shittest
this a
things
lot, so
I've
I should
ever
watch
seen.
her. I should ask her if she remembers this one. So
I
right.
hate Boy Meets World.
yeah.
The number one thing this podcast has ruined for me is Boy Meets World.
Really?
A show
You had
I
a
would've
good
said I
opinion of it
really
before we
liked.
started. There's
But it
still
turns
stuff
out-
in there that's good. There's still
Well,
stuff
that's
in
the
there.
problem, is that the show still made me laugh more than any other show.
Mhm.
But that's because like it's just a good little quip here and there. But the show stinks. It is
This is-
a bad television show.
This
All
is
the
bad.
characters are, you can't root for a single character in the show.
You know
They're
what?
all
This
shit.
is the only time though I said I think Sean is likable in this episode.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. He is not
He's-
an idiot in this
he's
episode.
very normal and fun in this episode, and not a pain in the ass.
Right. And very cognizant that Cory's having like a Cory style freak.
Yes,
Right,
yes, he's
right,
great
right.
in this episode. And I don't mean like, the guy who plays Sean is bad, because he has moments where he's good. I mean, the writing of Sean is just whacked
Sean
off
is a
the
bad
map.
character in this game.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
He
so
worked-
bad
He did the
sometimes.
best he could with what he had, which wasn't a lot.
right.
But
And a
like,
liar because he brings up his father
yeah,
as also average.
which is
And we
know
know
that's
that's not true.
Chet
bullshit.
is a
He
star.
He was
Just
being humble in
stealing.
that moment.
right.
Dealing. He had to keep that from his sons. He couldn't let
Right.
them know.
At that point, we should have cut to Chet in Vegas.
Yeah.
Women all around him. It's
Yeah.
like 4 a.m, and he's just staring out across like the rising sun.
Mm-hmm.
And his
I think
na-
at
and
this
his-
point, hadn't he died at this point? Did he die already?
no, he's in
I mean,
Vegas.
talent never dies.
Yeah, right, exactly.
He faked his own death. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
And
He faked
so
it.
right,
Right.
because he
It
didn't want
panned
his
back,
kids
and the
to
sign
follow
is
in
there.
his footsteps.
Yes.
Right, and it says Chet impersonator, but it's not a Chet impersonator.
It's the
Chet.
real Chet.
It's
It's
the
a real
real
Chet.
Right.
It's a real chat. All right. Let's see this. Boy Meets World, season 6, episode 5. After Cory's introduced to an art prodigy, he develops an inferiority complex and blames his lack of skills on his quote average father.
This is my 8th place trophy for enthusiasm from Fat Camp. When were you fat? Well, my parents applied to the good camps too late. Man, those guys could eat pie.
What's that one for?
My baseball team came in last.
They actually gave you a trophy for that?
Well, they wanted everybody to feel a sense of pride and achievement.
Where's his head?
I smashed it off with a hammer.
Corn. I know I'm supposed to make you feel better, but what kind of loser saves all these things?
Because this was me, Sean. This is me. Mr. Average. My room here is a shrine to my mediocre life.
Oh, let's stop right there, okay? You don't have a mediocre life.
There's nothing about me that separates me from anybody else. You know, nobody ever put a paintbrush in my hand when I was 2. You know, nobody ever helped me find out what I was talented at.
Wait. You used to be pretty good at this thing.
My dog has fleas.
Wow.
My dog has fleas.
Yes.
Wow.
The fuck did I just watch?
I'll tell you what.
The celery
poster.
The celery poster got me.
Put that celery
Good
poster
joke.
somewhere. That's funny.
Good joke. I enjoyed that.
What the fuck is wrong with Cory?
This character went off the rails,
Also,
and I think somewhere around this episode, maybe not this exact one.
This whole episode is about how average Cory is, right?
Yes.
But every one of those trophies was for last place.
So
I have bad news for you, sir.
You're bad.
That ain't average.
Yeah.
Also, Sean has been his friend
Right, Sean knows
for
all
his
this
whole life.
Right.
You're telling me he didn't play on that baseball team or do any of that stuff? He must have.
Why is Sean asking questions like, when did you go to fat camp?
He knows he was there,
Yeah,
right?
Right. At that point, Sean was fat because he saw a cooking show and couldn't help himself.
Yes, right.
I'm a baker now, Cory. This is who I am.
You don't understand me.
I crave delicious treats.
My souffle.
God. I'm addicted to...
Who has an NFL poster of just the teams? You see that? It's just
the helmets.
The names
I remember
of the team.
those.
Really?
I remember those.
Yeah, they existed.
The best. It's not 1-to-1, but I had that blanket set that had like all the
I
team
had that.
logos on it. Yeah, every kid had that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Mine was like the field. It was like green with like a green field with the logos all down the side.
Yeah. So like I think it was actually of the time.
But you like he's a diehard
that
Philadelphia Eagles fan, right? He shouldn't have all the teams on his wall.
That whole room looked off. I felt like they had to hastily rebuild it for this scene.
I feel like they did because they make it look like he's moved out because he has moved to college.
Right.
But Eric also doesn't live there. So shouldn't it be a different thing now?
Yeah.
Right. He lives in that apartment. All right, let's get into this plot. The kids are at the art museum with their teacher, Feeney, who's back already.
Who's teaching college now.
He's teaching art. Wasn't he a history teacher? Like what or literature or I don't know what. Sean is into photography, which is a thing that sticks around all the way through Girl Meets World.
Girl Meets World, right? That's all right.
That's his job. I kind of like this.
Here we go.
He's also a writer in some episodes, and he is a writer in Girl Meets World. Nice. Him and Angela are together. They're in a happy relationship. They kind of playfully joke around. They're having fun. There's no drama between Sean and Angela. Maybe for the only episode ever.
Yeah, right. Next episode, all downhill.
Right. I'm not sure if Feeney's teacher or dean or both or what's going on. Is he fucking the dean? Is he? I don't know. I forget the timeline here, but something's going on.
He is fucking the dean at this point.
He does at some point. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Cory talks about what he thinks the painting is, and then a girl who he calls a little girl who isn't little.
Sorry.
Yeah, we got to stop.
We have to settle on this.
Yeah, right.
The first 2 minutes of this episode is literally Feeney saying, my favorite thing about this room is all this art, impressionist art that has a different meaning for every person. Everyone look around the room and tell me what painting means something to you. And then he immediately is like, Cory, what does this painting mean to you? And Cory's like, it represents this to me.
Yeah.
And then everybody in the fucking room starts throwing tomatoes at him, telling him he's wrong.
Wrong.
Nope. That was a trap. You
idiot.
I play my trap card.
Yep.
Is that why he's so mad in this episode? He's so angry.
I would be pissed forever.
Oh my god.
Everybody has like those 4 or 5 things that just sort of sticks with them where they feel like I was such an asshole, or I can't believe I did it this way, or like weird conversations.
Yeah.
That would be one of them. Like I can't believe they put me out there like that and then just fucking roasted me into oblivion.
Right.
And then he starts molesting this middle-aged woman.
That's where I thought you were going with this. I thought you were going to lead with the fact that we're supposed to believe this girl is like 12. When it looks
what?
Like she's
like
got a
6'2".
Just tall.
She's like 2 Morgans.
Right.
So I had the same reaction. I said, because later she says how old she is, whatever it is, 12 or 13.
Did
and he's
she?
like,
I don't remember.
yeah, she does. And then Cory says, oh, my sister's the same age. Morgan's the same age. And then they meet.
I almost fell out of my seat.
Yeah,
right.
me too. Okay. But this is wild. Okay. Get ready. This person who's this painter, all right, is an actual painter.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Child prodigy painter to be in this episode. She's not an actor.
Well, you can tell she's not an actress.
Right.
Yeah.
She's actually that painter.
Okay.
And she is exactly the same age as Morgan.
Wow.
No way.
They were both born. Actually,
Wow.
Morgan is older by 2 months.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I
Isn't that
cannot
crazy?
believe it. You could easily convince me that she was Alan's mother.
She looks old. He keeps calling her little girl. She's almost as tall as Cory is.
Right. It's like, look at you, little girl. I'm like,
Right.
why are you yelling at
Weird.
that
Why are
mom?
you? Yeah, it took me so. It struck me so much. Like,
You might as well have
ugh.
Derby had a cigar. It was just...
What is this? Why is he doing this? And then we looked it up, and she's younger than Morgan in real life. They're both born in
insane.
1985.
Oh my
Both born in
God.
1985, and she's actually a painter. That's wild.
Wow. Is she still painting? I, mean,
I
that was kinda-
assume. I mean, she's only 40, so.
No offense, guys, but I got your Christmas presents.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh God!
An original.
The
Can you
little
get me an
girl.
original Cory, please.
Yeah, take down the Ninja Turtles in the background there, Greg. I got to do something new for your wall.
Oh, it would go there.
That would be so funny if it was Cory and the suicidal dolphin painted. Oh my God!
Oh.
That's amazing. Cory's head on a suicidal dolphin.
Listen,
Topanga. Yeah.
she's got to be willing to do commissions. That's all I'm saying.
Dear God. There is no money object that I can cross. I will do this.
Right.
All right. So he's a huge dick to this lady for no reason. All she does is say, well, actually, I painted it, and this is what it means.
She was 12. Are you kidding me?
Yes. Yes. Same age as Morgan. Younger than Morgan.
Holy
What
shit.
the fuck?
Isn't that crazy?
He has aged well.
Okay.
You're looking at her now?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Did we lose you?
No, we're good.
Let me just dim the lights real quick.
She's our age. It's okay.
Yeah, right. Now it's
I
fine.
know, but it's just such a weird. Ooh. You're like JT and the fucking Yabos people.
Right.
Oh,
Uh,
I hope she dies soon.
Oh,
Not like that. God,
JT. That's the only way I can get with
The
her.
only way JT's gonna get with her.
That was not Greg hoping she dies. That was JT.
die soon. Then I have a chance.
The air
We've
just
already
left my
established
body.
the
Oh, the air
exoplane
just
is a
came
freaky
out.
place.
No, listen.
She
It's fine.
Jesus Christ. Oh, there's not enough ghosts. She's.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Or
There is a part where Cory takes this little girl's nose and says, I got your nose because she's so little. And then Feeney yells at him to give her nose back. So he does. He puts a fake nose in her hand. And this reminded me of a real life incident that happened to me once where in college, we had this thing where you drink all day called Dolphy Day. Because our mascot was a dolphin. Our mascot was a dolphin. Suicidal. But you would drink all day, and I had a friend in my group who would get into it with people every once in a while. He's one of those. Get too drunk, you get into it with somebody. And there was like a group of people standing somewhere, and I was following this crowd, and he was in this crowd. And he walks up to this guy, and we all hated this guy, so we were like, all right, well, fuck with him. It's fine. So he goes up to him, and it looks like he's going to punch him. I'm like, okay, we're going to get in a fight. This is going to be bad. What the hell are we going to do? And I'm not sober either. I'm like, all right, let's get ready for this fight. And he looks like he's going to punch this guy. And he cocks back, reaches forward, and grabs his nose.
Oh, my God.
Comes back with a thumb and goes, got your nose, to this guy who's also drunk. And I was like, holy shit, that is the funniest thing in the world. What's going to happen now? And then the other guy yells back, give me my fucking nose back. Reaches to punch him over this nose. Give me my fucking nose back. The funniest response you could ever get. Give me my fucking nose back. So he did. He gave it back, and there was no fight. We just went our separate ways for the rest of the day.
De-escalation of the situation.
It was completely de-escalated once he gave him the nose back.
Yeah.
Like, we almost just got in a fucking brawl and probably expelled over this nose gimmick.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I was laughing. That happened to me in real life once. All right, the artist is really the artist.
Alexandra Nikita pieces go for about $5,000.
Yeah.
You all are in deep trouble that I'm successful in life.
Oh no. Oh no.
There's a spot, baby.
There's prints. You can get a print. You don't need to get an original.
Yeah, right.
What?
Listen, I value you guys, and I go every single year at Christmas. I go higher and higher. So
I don't know how you do it.
I take care of my babies.
I don't know how you do it.
Next year is going to be a private cruise with Roger.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the TGIF boat.
Yes. I pick
What
one.
can we shoot smart people? What do ships have for defense? Cannons? There's still a cannon.
Yeah, right.
Apparently, all guys get shot out of cannons. It's just different vehicles that are holding those cannons.
Right.
Right.
What's the smartest mode of transport? A bullet train?
Moped.
Moped.
Smart car.
Smart car. Yeah, there we go. Little smart cars with cannons that shoot smart cars.
They shoot smart cars. No, the dolphins, they just crawl out of the dolphins' mouths. You just load that sucker with dolphins and they open up and let them out.
I'm trying to limit the dolphin usage in the smart guy industry.
Yeah.
You know, we're going vegan.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We're trying to get them out of different kinds of mouths.
Carbon neutral. Wait, what?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Dolphin neutral. That's our pledge.
Dolphin neutral. Dolphin neutral. We're dolphin neutral on this podcast, all right?
Yeah, this podcast
is all right. Big Dolphin. Would Big Dolphin just quit it? Get out of here.
Yeah, right.
We can't be bought. We can't be bought, Big Dolphin.
Actually, I could probably be bought.
Yeah, we could be bought. All right. Yeah, if you're Big Dolphin, we'll take it.
Big Dolphin.
I've always said,
contact me, please.
Yeah, whatever price you're thinking, Big Dolphin is high for me. I guarantee it's lower. Just keep going lower.
Yeah, we're good. All right. Feeney says you have extraordinary gifts to the artist, and then Cory says, "What about us, Feeney?" And he goes, "Yeah, you too also have, I don't know, your health."
Yeah.
And this spirals Cory. He gets so jealous. He's not above average. Morgan meets these artists and says, "Oh, you're famous. You were on Rosie O'Donnell." I kind of like their friendship. Well,
Morgan also dropped about like 9 F-bombs in that sentence.
She did. She did get bleeped a lot. She says, what are we going to talk about? You're like Cory says, what are you two going to talk about? You're an idiot and you're a smart person. And Morgan goes, do you like Banjo-Kazooie? She's like, sure do. Let's go play video games.
I like that.
Oh, yeah.
I like how
I like that.
Right.
I like when they do. Right. That's one of the best things about this show is when they actually reference things that are actually well loved at the moment. Like not just like let's go play video games. No, we're going to name one.
It was the Witch's Tower too. So it was actually, I remember that. Yep.
Cory says to Sean, do you think I'm talented? And Sean goes, oh God, now what?
Yeah, Sean
He's
on
really
the ball
good.
here. Yeah.
He's really good. He's like Karen from Step by Step in this.
He saw this coming a mile away. That this was going to be a thing. That his next week was not going to be full of boathouses.
No,
it was
no boathouses.
Dealing with Cory shit.
Deal with your shit. Jack and Eric and Rachel hang out and do a bunch of weird shit in their apartment. One of the episodes that was listed as the definite jump the shark moment, which we have watched, was the Mick Foley Mankind episode where he's the next roommate and he like wrestles them.
Yeah.
That was a weird episode, but I love Mankind and I thought that was funny at the time, so I don't consider that one to be but it is really weird.
It's right. It's very
It's incredibly weird. Rachel starts choking to death, and Jack does not understand what's going on, but he does eventually figure it out after she writes a note, and he Heimlich maneuvers her so she spits all over Eric. And then she says, "You saved my life. I'll do whatever you want."
What the fuck?
I know, right?
This is weird.
Real weird.
And says it, "I'll do whatever you want."
Right.
Like
the
that.
clear thing here is that Jack is going to get sex for saving her.
Right.
Yes.
But that's fucking weird.
Yes.
Real fucking strange.
I mean,
I would not feel comfortable in that situation.
It's also weird because she's in a love triangle with her two roommates. We never talk about this, but she likes them both, and they both like her, and they all live together.
Yep.
Yeah. And all
It's
pain
incredibly weird.
I'll tell you what. If this show took place in 2023, 2024, whatever, that would just be okay. That would just be the premise of the show.
Right.
They're all together. All three of them.
Right. Yeah. That's right.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep. No, it was just like it just implied, hey, you saved my life, now you get to fuck me. That was what they were going for in this, and it was just uncomfortable.
That's a no-win situation for Jack.
It's not like I owe you one or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like
I will do anything. And
like a hug. It was like whoa.
She gets all sexy voice and shit.
Right.
I mean, we know her current profession, so she can pull it off.
She perfected
Whole
it here.
career is sexy voice and shit.
Right. Eric is mad because he went to the bathroom and couldn't save her life to become the number one romantic interest. So he says, "I'll never pee again."
Even for Eric, this was not a good Eric episode. We've seen him.
He doesn't do
thrive
very
with
much.
real bad writing, and he couldn't pull the nose up on this thing.
No, he's not in it enough. Cory shows his weird trophies to Sean, and as we saw, and then he says, "I've lived a mediocre life," and then he sits next to the celery painting, as we said, and I love that joke. I love
very,
that
very
there's
funny.
a poster that says celery. Then they pull out the ukulele, and he can't play the ukulele either. Then we see the Morgan and the artist playing Game Boy. They're both playing Game Boy. Morgan says she doesn't want to sing at the talent show, but artist says, "Do it. I believe in you." She's like, "Okay, I'll do it." Then Cory goes nuts. He goes nuclear on both of his parents.
Yeah.
That they're not special. He's not special. How dare you not make me special? Why did you not make me paint as a kid? Why did you not make me do all this stuff? And then Alan, the dad, says, "We did. You just lost interest after a while, and we moved on to other things." It's what all parents do. Like, kids get bored, you do something else. Like, why is that our fault? And he goes,
"It has
"Well,
literally a closet full of musical instruments, so it happens.
It happens. We've played every sport now twice over and quit and come back." But then he like turns even more into it and says, like, "You're below average, Dad. Like,
this is
I don't respect you. I don't respect you, Booker Man."
I don't respect you, Booker Man. Yeah.
What the hell?
This is so weird.
Yeah.
What an incredible dickhead.
Where is
And the mom says nothing.
Right.
Dad just gets so sad.
My God.
And he leaves. Like, what?
This was the most like Cory isn't a human being episode that I think we've ever seen. And last one was pretty bad.
Yeah.
That was along the same lines, though.
Right.
I know this is weird. But like was Ben Savage trying to get out of his contract?
Maybe.
Because he's
Maybe
acting
he was
like
done
a
with it.
literal baby in these episodes, like a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
It's
But,
not.
I mean,
He's
He
the
didn't write this
star.
shit.
He's
Like,
not
the writers
likable.
gave this to him. Like, I mean,
Right.
you gotta
No,
be
but like the way he talks, his like mannerisms, like they're childlike. Like he is acting like a child. Like I think there are some ways you could say some of these lines with a little more reality to them. I mean, they're stupid, sure, but Cory is acting like a 7-year-old.
It could have been like it could have been like a throwaway comment where he's like, "I wish I was like that, but I guess I'm not. I'm average like you guys," or something. And then Dad takes offense and then brings him on that trip to show him his upbringing or whatever.
Yeah, but if anything, Alan shows that he can act in this situation and kind of come off as a regular person, as opposed to Cory, who even in that scene, which we'll talk about, still feels wooden and cartoonish.
Right. Alan putting in the work in this episode. He actually is great.
Yeah. Alan's wonderful.
He's great. All right. So he craps on his parents. Then we see Sean wearing Jenko jeans, hanging out with big jeans. And Cory says, "I did a terrible thing. I crushed my father." And they're like, "Oh, you said some bad shit before. Just say you're sorry." And he goes, "Problem is, I meant what I said." What a fucking dick,
man.
Wow. I meant what I said.
You got a great fucking life. Look around, man. Jesus Christ.
What the hell? Didn't his dad own like a sporting goods franchise?
I thought he was a supermarket.
He was a supermarket.
He was, but then he like
I think eventually he does own a sports
He
store.
opens his own sporting goods
or
place.
did own one or something. I don't remember.
Yeah. I think he owns his own sporting good place. So he owns a business. What do you mean? That's a big deal.
Not everyone can be Chet. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Maybe if you're comparing him to Chet, he is below average.
But listen, it just a life lesson for everybody listening. Don't ever compare yourself to Chet. Nobody's going to be
too.
Chet.
It's too hard. You can't be Chet.
Everybody's going to have a Cory style meltdown if they start trying to compare themselves to Dylan himself, Mr. Dylan. Chet Hunter's fucking legend, and everyone knows
it's going to be on TV soon. Sci-Fi Network or something.
What do you mean? Soon?
No, it's an
That's
HBO
volume
comedy
9
special.
Yeah,
he
we've all
tells
seen
jokes.
him.
You all knew that, right? Gallagher style.
Yep. Throwing cards at watermelons. Gambit.
You know that movie Now You See Me? That's all Chet. He came up with all that. He stole that money.
You thought some of that was CGI?
No, he did it. He did all the magic.
He's the Rick Baker of card tricks.
Yeah, he did all the Now You See Me.
Just Chet, baby.
Tricks,
Just Chet.
which that series of movies is the biggest piece of shit in the
hate
world,
those movies.
and they're making
I
a
only saw the
third.
first
I
one.
heard.
They're making a third.
People like those things.
They're bad.
I suspect they're
So
cheap
bad.
to make.
Yeah.
Oh, they gotta be.
There's no budget. Yeah, right. I can't even
They
imagine
gotta
what
be.
you're spending money on.
So bad.
I mean, other than Chet, that's like 70%.
Chet, it's all Chet. It's because the money is real.
Right.
He makes 4x what Woody Harrelson makes for those movies.
Yep.
Woody Harrelson.
We know
my
where
God.
the real talent is.
Woody Harrelson plays two characters in the second movie. He has a twin brother. That's how bad that movie is.
No.
Yes, he has a twin brother.
No, come on.
It's so bad.
Chet could have played one of those guys. It
It could have been Chet.
Resources. Yeah.
It actually was Chet was one of those guys.
It
He
might have
had
been
that
CGI mask on.
He is so talented. He's so talented.
Chet's good. Chet's.
Yeah, he is.
I'm getting depressed right now thinking
Such
about my
range.
life.
Don't do that, Ryan. Don't compare
I
yourself.
can't do it. I can't do it.
You can't. No, you gotta bring yourself up.
You're
Compare
living
yourself
a
to Cory.
fine life. So
Below average. It's fine.
yeah, below,
Knock at the door. It's Dad. He goes, "Get in the car," and scares everyone. Cory gets in the car, and they drive off. Jack says he can get one thing free from Rachel, which she's really hounding about. Like, he can get one thing for free, Jack. And he's like, "I'll take a peanut butter and jelly sandwich."
because Jack is not a creep.
And then Eric's like, "What?
See, that's the problem. I don't know
Why?
if that is the creep move.
Did you do that?"
Like, she's clearly sending sex signals.
I think they end up together. So obviously she has an attraction to Jack.
Right.
She's waiting for she needs the go. She's giving him the go ahead.
Couldn't leap through that hoop.
He couldn't do it. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's
Coward.
You fucking coward. That's what Eric should have said. That should have been the line. You fucking coward.
Morgan just busts down the door. You fucking cowards.
I like the idea of her being like a swearing Kool-Aid man. That just out the door every single I'm like, what are you doing, you fucking morons?
She wouldn't stop at one swear in a sentence. It would be like one of those Cockney swears that goes on and on and on and on.
She's like Al Swearingen in Dead.
Yeah, right, in Deadwood.
In Deadwood, the greatest swearer of all time in a show. Al Swearingen. Every time I see that guy now, I'm like, I love you. I don't care what you're doing. I love you. He shows up in Game of Thrones as like a weird like priest. I'm like, yeah, give me Al Swearingen.
Also swears a lot as that priest.
Yeah, love it. That's his superpower. He's in John Wick. He's the hotel manager guy.
Yeah, he doesn't swear a lot though.
Love Al. Yeah, he's very serious. Don't care. All right. They go for this drive. They visit a closed building, and Alan says, "This is where your grandfather was a janitor for the last 40 years." And he gave the broom to me so I could take over his job. And then I worked my way up to where I am now because my dad worked for 40 years as a janitor. I was able to have a better life, to now give you a better life, to now have you question why you're average.
There's a weird scene here where they kind of talk over each other.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just jumbled. And once again, they left it in. They're just like, whatever, that they'll figure it out.
No one will notice.
Right.
Why are you so embarrassed to be average? A lot of people are hurting out there. It's okay to be average. He did the best he could, and he was proud. I'm sorry you're not proud of me. And then he walks out and leaves him there.
That's like soul crushing.
Yeah.
Sick.
That's the type of shit that you remember for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Cory's going to therapy for that moment.
Oh, yeah. That was that last line was like $70,000 worth of doctor bills.
So many appointments.
Well, once again, props to Alan, the actor who plays Alan.
He delivered that.
All that real fucking good.
Crushed.
A great job.
Absolutely awesome. All right. And then that great scene is just kind of glossed over because now we're at the talent show where Morgan's going to sing. Cory is there as well.
Oh, God.
And he's apologizing to Alan the whole time. And Alan's like, stop it. Shut up.
Yeah, I have two other kids, you idiot. Like
this one actually cares about me.
Right.
But he also is distracted by a fire juggler. This fire juggler is killing this shit.
I love Alan in this scene. I love how enthusiastic he is for everything.
Loves fire.
Look how much fire. Look at it.
Which one night ago he was miserable, and now he's excited by fire.
all it takes is a fire juggler.
All it takes is a juggler. All it takes is a little juggling.
That checks out.
Right. Are you depressed because you thought about
I'd be excited.
To Chet?
Right. Where's the
fire
line?
juggler? You're
I'd
fine.
be excited. Chet does fire. He can do fire.
Oh, he does everything.
He gets set on fire while he deals.
Right.
Oh my God. It's like the grand finale. You haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So you've seen Chet on fire.
Chet on fire.
I think that was the name of his fourth album, actually.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, right.
His R&B album.
The Dead Topanga's open for him.
Wow. What a
I almost said Chet open for the Dead Topangas. That would never happen.
Impossible. Impossible.
What a show.
Metallica opens for Chet.
Yeah, Metallica opens for Chet.
Metallica opens for the Dead Topangas.
Paul McCartney opens for Chet.
Right.
Yeah,
right. The Beatles reunion opens for Chet. The hologram. Both holograms have to wait.
And you know what? JT doesn't care. He's there for those ghosts as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Is a hologram a ghost?
Yeah.
No, he wants to get
hologram.
If anybody could, JT could. He'd figure it out.
Any ghost, anytime.
I don't care. Any ghost, anytime. Good God. All right. Morgan goes to sing, and she sings "You Are My Hero" and "The Wind Beneath My Wings."
I have a confession. I skipped through this.
Yeah, you should.
So for a brief moment, I was like, okay, I'm going to let her start singing because if she sucks, that would be hysterical.
She's not bad.
Yeah, right.
And then she starts singing for real, and I'm like, skip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we got it. We got what you want.
Good. You're good.
She's fine. Yeah, right.
And we sing. Cory gets up and he sings, like upstaging his sister.
Right, Dick.
Like, what are you doing? He like gets up in front of everybody and sings to Alan.
You want to talk about needing therapy? Morgan is going to need therapy watching her brother upstager here.
Yeah, right.
Her two brothers are literally insane.
Yeah,
she's going to need therapy just from that.
Morgan did though say the word cunt about 9 times in the song, so that was kind of cool. But I mean,
yeah, but that's in the Bette Midler original, right?
Wrote that, yeah, right.
God. All right. Then they Cory and Alan have this talk where they like let it go, I guess, where it's like, okay, I made a mistake. You aren't like average is good. I got to figure out what I need to do with my life, I guess. And then Alan says he only knew his life was special when Cory was born. Oh,
fuck Eric.
Sorry. Fuck Eric.
Yeah, right.
Eric was born first.
Right.
I didn't even think of that until you just said that. Holy shit. I didn't know my life had meaning until my second child was born.
And there's the therapy for Eric. So great.
Just open your door for a second to make sure there's no one creeping outside that might overhear that.
Yeah.
You have 2 children. Could you imagine one of them was like walking by to go to the bathroom right now and just hears that out of the
I'm sure they've heard all kinds of their bedrooms are right above my head. I'm sure they've heard things.
When you're talking to your kids, get their names wrong every now and then, just to put the fear into them. That's the way to do it.
There's a hierarchy.
And then be like, oh, right, that was the other one.
Right.
That's not usually the psychological warfare I play on them. I do like to make a lot of mess them up a lot, but not put them in therapy. I probably will anyway.
Oh, you're
any good father worth their salt does that.
Just because that's how it works.
Yeah,
they're going to discover this podcast and just.
Oh God, I dread that day.
All over.
Oh no.
You dread your kids finding this podcast the same way I dread my father finding this podcast.
Oh, I want him to be on this podcast.
Never gonna happen. I refuse.
I would love it. I would love nothing more than to
we
get.
Can do it, but only under like we need to like pretend we're a different podcast so that he can't find it once it comes out.
He's going to listen to
with
all the episodes. Burning money. We just sit in a pool and we set money on fire.
Right. In the multiverse that we created.
Tariffs? Who cares? Just set it on fire. That's the Greg A Wonderful Life.
My favorite segment that we've ever done.
That's high. It's on the list.
I fucking love it.
It's on the list. It was a joke, a great joke, and then at the end you kind of went introspective and you went, I guess I really do mess up people's lives.
What? Also, did you try to create AI, like use like AI to make the cover?
Yes, and I tried to make cover art with AI, and it was just Greg on the cover of the DVD with like 1,000 fingers and 100 faceless children.
Like the angel described in the Bible.
Just these 10 fingers on each hand, faceless children, and then Greg in the middle.
That's amazing.
It's horrifying.
Oh, I love it.
All right. So they make up. Everything's good. Eric pretends to be dead now so that someone will save his life so he can. I don't even know. Rachel says, "Do you know CPR, Jack?" And he says, "Yes." And then Eric gets freaked out, gets up, and he runs away and says, "Sure, make fun of the dead, will ya?" And that's the funny joke we leave off on.
This was worse than the last one.
This
so bad. So
What
bad.
was the last one?
The film noir.
Cory Noir.
Oh boy,
that was bad.
This was worse than the last one.
Yeah, it was.
And it's much earlier, I think, than the last one. So,
yeah,
the jump the shark moment.
Thanks. This really does feel like a jump the shark moment, where Cory goes from a believable character to I don't know, something else entirely.
Yeah. Like 2 episodes ago, he's like, Topanga, we should be together forever. And now he's like, what the fuck? He's like he's discovered alcohol. He's become an alcoholic.
Like, people are like enabling him. Like Topanga should have stepped in and be like, what are you doing to your dad? This is absolutely reprehensible.
Sean is in the room and basically it's his second family.
And they don't say a word. The mom doesn't say a word.
Right.
To watching her husband get like emasculated.
Wow. All right, we got one more. We got one more to go.
Let's get her done.
Yeah.
Family Matters. Season 5, Episode 8. Dr. Urkel and Mr. Cool. Stefan's first appearance. To be less annoying, Steve creates a potion, transforming himself into a charming man.
Please, party on, party on. It's you! It's really you! Peace, baby. Wake up, sweet thing.
Okay.
Family Matters. All right. ChatGPT said a lot of invention things, which we already kind of knew. And I was like, really, the downfall of this show is the creation of Stefan.
Yeah. Which is weird because I remember Stefan very fondly when I was a kid. Like, Stefan was an appealing aspect.
So this is the most interesting episode of all of these to me because
I would say so, yeah.
I feel as though Stefan is a good character, is funny, is good in this episode. It's not a bad episode, I don't think.
I don't think so either. I remember we talked about not remembering some of the other ones. I remember very distinctly this episode.
Yeah.
I like Stefan. I like that it was a
I do
different
too.
spin. I like that I was kind of not sick of Urkel because I was a kid and I still thought it was funny, but I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's like his twin, his cool twin. I don't know.
I thought it was super cool when I was a kid.
There's a lot of things that make that work. It breaks it up. It's a different twist. We give Laura a love interest. We get to cheer Steve on. Like, that's
I
fun.
love that Steve and Carl hate each other, but Carl loves Stefan.
Yeah, right.
I think
that's great.
That's fun, you know?
There's a lot of good stuff. However, just the idea that he exists means that we get cloning and machines, and we go to the moon. That's where this moment really stands out.
Stefan represents my first recollection of super science, being a Family Matters mainstay.
Right, because he invented stuff before. Did he do the jetpack before? I think it was before.
Yeah. He's definitely invented stuff, but it's stuff that you would expect him to make.
Something a smart kid could think about making.
Right.
Not portals to another dimension and
not a serum that changes your literal DNA.
Where you can become Bruce Lee. Like there's that episode he turns himself into Bruce Lee. Like this opens that door.
Right. Yep.
Which if you're a writer of a television show and you've done 5 seasons of The Family's a little wacky and you need we desperately need new stories, I can see why they would write a bajillion fucking weird ass stories with this.
What season was this? 5? Was
this is season 5, the beginning of season 5.
3 seasons worth after this because of probably this moment where they tried.
I think it's 4. I think it's 4.
You're right, it is 4. They are all right. This works. This type of story, people are.
And he's popular, and we liked him as kids.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an interesting thing to me. But it's bad after this, and they use him weirdly in season 5. They use him in this episode, and then he doesn't show up for another 20 episodes or something like that.
Right.
So he's not there all the time. Once he starts showing up all the time,
you know what though? That's probably enough time to gauge the feedback back in the day. Like you'd basically to see how it worked. People responded positively. Now it's time to write another episode. Now it's time to film another episode. 20 episodes later, here's Stefan again. So that makes sense. Like the timeline works.
Yeah, it does. And then they must have. This show leans into shit like, oh, Urkel's funny. He's the entire show.
Yeah.
So, you see Stefan is popular. Put him in every episode.
Right.
So. As much as I did enjoy watching this episode, I think it is the downfall of the show.
Yep.
I agree. I think this is weirdly the most jump the sharky out of everything that we've covered.
Okay.
Because this just does feel like introducing something new and stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. But it works. Bit works.
This episode works, I think.
This episode works. And the other ones don't. But the character's still kind of funny. And then they have to get rid of him. Like, they cause this huge problem. Like, how do we have these two characters at the same time? Well, we got to have cloning now. Okay, well, how the hell do we get rid of him? Because he obviously can't be with Laura at the end. What do we do? Like, oh, we got to get Steve and Laura together. We got to ship him to France and make him a model.
Yeah, right.
And make sure he's happy as a clone. We can't kill him off.
Right. He has that weird. Remember, he talks about does he have a soul or not? Remember that?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we got another Tuvix situation.
Yeah, right.
Tuvix. No one will get that except for like the three of us. Tuvix. When that was Star Trek Voyager.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
When the two people get together, and if they get separated, the person they are together dies.
I mean, I think it's a perfect analogy.
It sure is.
I mean, it's a separation, but
I know, I know it, but I feel like we have to explain it to the other people.
The tethered, an early tethered.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Star Trek Voyager. What a show.
Oh, that show was good.
Yeah, it was.
What a show. All right. The boys are working at Mighty Weenie, which I laughed at.
Cool.
Hot dog hat.
By the way, let's not gloss over the fact it's not the same set as Rachel's.
Yeah, it is. Didn't it burn down? Now it's back. Steve gets pants by the handsome flirty guy who's flirting with Laura. Laura is like looking great in this episode. She's like,
Sure is.
I got this outfit. What do you think? And then everyone flirts with her. So she's like, I guess it's good. And then Steve comes out and dumps chocolate milkshakes all over Laura. And she gets real mad. Waldo is the cook. There's no way that place isn't either burning down or getting shut down by the fucking state government.
I saw that the grandmama one was the one right before this episode, and I was like,
The
"Oh,
harmonica."
The harmonica and Waldo. That was great."
Yep.
Steve chases Laura. He quits his job basically and chases her all the way home.
Wait, I want to pause here for a second. Everything you described happened before the credits, and then they kept going when the credits after the credits ended. I was
Why are we still doing this?
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm used to babies in boxes and then never talking about it again.
Yeah, right.
Once the credits
right. He brings her paper towels and she says, Have you just never gone a single day without destroying everything? And he goes, probably the womb. Which I thought was a funny joke.
Well, he might have.
You're annoying.
He didn't have any brothers.
Yeah, right.
You're annoying and you're socially inept. That's what she says.
True.
And then, yeah, she's not wrong. And then Urkel says, well, I guess my genes are messed up. That's probably why. My dad had a road flare in his pocket the day before I was conceived go off. What the fuck does that even mean?
I like that his dad powered through a dramatic crotch melting experience to have sex the next day.
Burned his dick off. And then still
to the bone zone.
He burned his dick off. I mean, you know, if you gotta go,
I'm sorry to
go.
say, Mrs. Urkel, but it is still Tuesday.
I mean, the calendar don't lie, hon.
As is Urkel tradition.
Now get the sheets. And here's Dean.
And get Stevel.
Yeah.
Yeah, get Stevel.
All right. So he's gonna try to fix this problem because his genes are all fucked up. Laura says, why can't you change? And Steve says, I'm comfortable with me as a person. Why would you say that? And then she like storms off. And he's like, okay, I'm real sad now. What do I do with this information? Then we see Carl. He comes in all happy. He's whistling. He's reading the paper. Harriet comes down. She's like, are you okay? You're too happy. And she's like, I was going to go shopping, but I need more money. He's like, no problem. Actually, why don't I come with you? Let's go to the bank on the way. And then Laura's like, I want to have a party. And he's like, good, have a party. Come on, bring them over. We'll move the furniture out of the house. It's fine. We'll put it all in the garage. It'll be like that. We'll get Daft Punk'd. It'll be great. And everyone's like, what is happening to you? Why are you so nice? And he goes, I don't know why. I can't put my... Oh, I haven't seen Steve in 7 days. I'm so not stressed out. And then he gets a letter in the mail and says, "Oh, look, I'm being audited."
That was
whatever.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Steve walks in, and then Carl immediately shuts down and says, "We're not going anywhere. The party's going to have rules. You need to, there's no shopping. We got too much money on. Forget everything." Sits back down before Steve really does anything. Then he says, "Life stinks," and he walks out and slams the door. Steve says to Laura, "I've got it all figured out. I can fix my jeans with this cool potion." Now, I had remembered Stefan Urkel being made via machine.
Right.
But then I also remember we did that one episode where he turns himself into Bruce Lee, where he has like a bunch of goo with names on them.
But
like,
wasn't that also a machine?
And then he dumps the goo in the machine, and then he turns himself. So maybe it's both.
I think the machine, the big innovation of the machine that he was showing at Disney World.
Oh, right.
Was that he could flip flop.
Right.
Make it done fast, move it along faster?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So he's got this potion, and he's been working on it all week, and it's going to make him cool, guys. He's going to be cool, finally.
Is it cocaine? Because that makes you cool.
It's purple Urkel.
Oh, okay.
Remember that? Urkel has his own weed called...
I still haven't found that weed.
Yeah.
Do they sell it anywhere? He wrote a book, too. Urkel, during the last year, he wrote a book.
He also had like an animated Christmas movie as Urkel. Like, not that long ago. Yeah, like 2 years ago.
What?
Yeah, I swear.
That's wild. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
We should do cartoons, because Sabrina has a cartoon, too.
Does she?
Yeah.
Oh, we should do cartoons.
Are there cartoons? Is there another set of cartoons other than just...
I'm sure Urkel showed up as a cartoon somewhere.
Yeah, like I said, we could do the Urkel movie.
We could watch the
Sabrina.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. Yeah. Interesting. All right. All right. So he uses the potion. That's going to make him cool. And he starts shaking profusely. And says, "Tastes like Snapple." He starts like making crazy noises. He's doing his great physical bits that he does. Yep. He's shaking, like violently shaking, falls behind the couch. You know, typical special effect. You know, he just falls behind the couch. We can just reset him. He stands back up, and even his clothes are not as dorky. Like his suspenders are down, his glasses are gone, his shirt's untucked. Like he's not all buttoned up anymore, and he's cool now. He's Stefan Urkel. That's all we get. He introduced himself, and Laura is in love right away. Love at first sight. Still looks like Steve. He's just not wearing glasses. Party time. Carl is standing at the top of the stairs, just monitoring, watching this party. Let's go to a party where there's her dad's a cop. He's going to just stand at the top of the stairs. He's going to look down, judging you all night. And I'm not going. No, thanks. I will not be there. Stefan comes in, and the girls are fired up. Well, first Waldo comes in, and then they get excited, but then it's just Waldo, so they're boo. And Waldo dates Roxanne? I don't remember that.
Guess. I don't remember that either, yeah.
I guess he does. Or maybe they're just buddies, and they came together. They drove together. Who knows? Harriet and Carl bring out food, and the kids eat all the food really quick. This girl says, "If I see Stefan, I'm going to explode." And Carl says, "I think her braids are on too tight." Which I thought was funny. Stefan comes into that white suit. He looks good.
What I always remember him
so
wearing.
Good.
Yeah, right.
He looks like he belongs in, like, I don't know which rap group, but he belongs in some like 112. Does he belong in that group?
Oh, yeah,
I don't know. He belongs in one of those. He looks you know what? He looks like not Blackstreet. Who was the
No Diggity? Was that Blackstreet?
Yes. No. Was that Naughty by Nature? I forget now.
No. Which one was Bobby Brown?
I don't know. Yeah, he kind of looks like Bobby Brown. One of those. All right. So he comes in and he dances with this girl, and she faints, and then he kisses her, and then she faints again.
Almost takes a header. He catches her, but barely.
Oh my god! There must have been a pad on the ground or something.
Right.
He says to Laura, he walks around Laura, and then he says, "Baby, you're worth another trip." And then he walks around her again, checks her out. She loves this.
Laura's into it. Yep.
She loves this. Eddie comes over and he's like, he says, "What's up?" to Stefan, and they do a handshake. And Stefan has another part to the handshake that Eddie doesn't know, and he goes, "Oh, so that's what it's like to be uncool."
But I like how like Stefan was even just like covering for him. He's like, "It's all right. I just made it up. There's no way you would."
It's the most likable person ever.
Yeah, right.
Until the end. He calls Carl BG for big guy.
Yeah, right.
And then he asked him if he's losing weight, and Carl does like a little dance.
I love this part. This was so good.
He was a little dance.
Carl's just so excited
Woo,
to be around.
Harriet.
Yeah, right.
I love it.
Yep.
Yes. They ask Stefan, "Are your parents happy with the new you?" And he goes, "They love it. They finally introduced me to my grandparents."
Good joke.
Stefan dances with Laura.
Yep.
Very great, awesome dance where they like they get down and boogie together, and they don't slow dance. They're actually like feeling it out. I like this. Then they kiss, and then Laura jumps his bones. She's a sex fiend too now. Just like Dana.
Yeah.
Stefan talks about how he doesn't care about the troubles of the world. And we find out that he's kind of full of himself because Carl gets a call that Joey Gonzalez got shot. One of his teammates on the force got shot, and he's going to make it, but we're not totally sure. And everyone like rushes to the hospital, but Stefan doesn't care. He just wants to party more. And Laura's like, "This is gross. I don't like this at all." And he's like, "What?"
Sorry, I'm kind of with Stefan here.
She's
like, "Aren't you upset about this?" No, I'm not going to be upset because my girlfriend's dad's friend didn't die.
That I haven't known I've only known anyone for one day.
I thought he showed the proper amount of grief. He's
like, "Oh, sorry, big guy," or whatever.
Sucks. Yeah, right.
Okay, well, what does that have to do with you, Laura?
She's mad. He doesn't care enough. Steve would care.
People like Laura in that situation.
Steve would care more. Steve would care more. You're too full of yourself. I miss Steve Urkel. I never thought I'd say it. Well, Stefan says no problem. He has a backup plan. I have an elixir fixer here in my pocket, and I can turn back to Steve anytime I want.
I love that Carl not even seeing Steve was the best week of his life.
Yes.
And now Carl is grieving, and Laura's like, "I wish Steve was back."
He'd care.
The nicest thing Laura could do for her father was to just let it ride for another few days.
Yeah.
He loves Stefan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he takes the elixir and he says, "If I had friends, fame, and popularity like I have now, it wouldn't be nothing if it wasn't with you two."
Oh,
that's fucking lame. No, that's gross, Mark. Don't awe him. Stop awing him. This is inappropriate. The man has a problem.
You'd rather
you
be
are
dead.
Encouraging his psychosis.
He'd rather be dead than live without her. So he takes the elixir and then shakes.
Yes,
falls on the couch.
Died in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she killed
They
Stefan.
should be having a funeral right now that Carl would attend. That's a little more important than his friend who's still alive.
We don't know how hurt he is. They just said he's going to make it.
Yeah, he's fine.
Stefan's dead.
Stefan is dead. Ramirez is just a big old baby who got shot a little bit.
What are you crying about, Ramirez? You didn't get unalived.
Get back at work, Ramirez.
Your DNA didn't change to another person.
You didn't just question the reality of God.
So you're not. Right. You can't do anything, but you're trapped in this nerd's body for the rest of your life.
Have you ever questioned if your artificial body has a human soul? No.
No.
So what? You got shot in the stomach.
Yeah, so maybe stop crying about it.
You know what didn't escape when you got shot? Your soul, because you got one. So
JT is at the door, the hospital door, just checking.
Come on.
Just a little preemptive here, you know?
Nope. Never mind.
Right? Sorry.
You've heard of an ambulance chaser. JT is a hospice chaser.
He's just looking through photo albums. Who's going to be hot?
Right.
Yeah. Who's going to be super hot when they meet the ectoplane?
Who's going to be hot?
Is it like the Matrix? And as soon as you die, you're perfect projection of yourself.
Right.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is.
So everyone's not only is it a freaky deaky place, but also everyone's super fucking hot.
Everyone's at their hottest, moment, right? That's the way heaven has to work, right?
Yeah.
Or the astral plane or whatever.
There are so many ghost blimps just shooting ghost hot boys everywhere.
Everywhere.
There's blimps for everybody.
People are lining up to get shot out of those blimps.
It's good. It's not demeaning at all.
No.
Even Sweet Lou's at his hottest.
Yeah, he's
right.
there. He's in heaven.
Sweet Lou's projection of his hottest is just him at the
he
end.
Got like grandfathered in.
Yeah.
Like he invented the Hot Boys blimp.
Right.
So
But in his
when
mind,
he got there, they were like, "All right,
it's in the contract. We gotta let him in."
I still feel like in his mind,
greatest attraction in heaven.
Old Sweet Lou is still like the hot Sweet Lou in his mind.
He looked like that from 8 years old till his death.
You know, you can be hot, right? What do you mean?
Take a look.
What are you saying?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't get it.
He's like
Wilfred. Here we should tell.
He's like Wilfred Brimley.
Now bring me a Lachey.
Oh my god. All right.
Sex for shooting purposes.
I mean the cannon.
No, I don't.
And say had a cannon. Lou still has a micro penis. Still small. Is it at his best?
It's what he was used to working with it. I mean,
Right. It's like that guy who refuses to upgrade his Windows Excel.
Yeah, right.
It's like I learned on this.
Can't change it. I learned on this. Oh god. All right. Well, Urkel comes back to life behind the couch, and he's back to Urkel. Everything's tucked in and neat, and glasses and all that. And he makes crazy noises. And Laura says, "I never thought I'd be okay with that annoying sound." And then she hugs him and says, "He says, I forgive you." And then at the end, we see more dancing, more Stefan dancing. I don't know why, but we just see more dancing, and that is it. That is the end of Family Matters.
Pretty influential episode. I mean,
very
like,
big.
It's true.
Family Matters. This is probably one of the ones that comes up in top 5. So I mean,
I'm going to be interested to see what other people think, because when I finished watching this, Rachel was like, "This isn't Jump the Shark. This episode's great. I loved it."
Right.
And I was like, "Yeah, but it's more about the larger picture, not this one episode." So,
also, I didn't love this episode that much.
Well,
like
compared to the other three
ones we
compared to the other
yeah,
three,
right.
Forget about it.
But like this was very, very boring to me. Other than the novelty of Stefan,
right. Yeah, right. And I was excited to see Stefan
and Jaleel White's general good acting.
He's good.
Well, maybe I'm talking myself back into this.
It's pretty good.
There were some really dumb parts, but there were definitely some parts that made me laugh too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
Still
it's
not
like
great, but perfectly fine.
I don't know if it's jokes or
it's a slam dunk for me for ranking these.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it. Let's go to the ranking and we can talk more. Number 4 is
Boy Meets World.
Yeah,
fuck that show.
So bad.
Shit show.
Number 4, or I'm sorry, that was number 4. Number 3 is
I'm trying to think what else we watched.
Sabrina.
It is Sabrina. But
it is Sabrina. Yeah, that episode stunk.
Yeah. Oh, this will
There's
be perfect.
Nothing good on either one of those. Step by Step would be 2, I assume.
Yes.
Well, see, here's the wrench, because I actually
all right, you rank it your way.
Better than Family Matters, but not by much.
All right, so you would flip it, okay, because you watched a different episode. But
I really like the Dana and Richie stuff.
I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna
right.
Not tonight, but like I will go back and watch that. Yeah.
The end with JT is worth the kind of slog of the Bronson Pinchot stuff.
Okay.
But he's still Bronson. Like, that's the thing I couldn't get past.
You're gonna see it. You'll understand. It just feels like he's trying way too hard.
I mean, obviously it didn't work because he disappears after that season. I don't think he comes back.
Yeah.
He's not there for the last season. Yeah.
He moves back to France or something at some point. So, but I mean, the guy's just too talented. Like, there's got to be episodes in there that are still
I'm sure
bangers.
there are gems. This was the first one or whatever.
Right.
So like,
there's got to be a couple in there that are pretty good.
We liked him in the Western one. Like, he was pretty good in that.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know. We got to do the episode where Cody comes back. I don't know how we're gonna find that, like a way to get that in
It's like
there.
a finale, isn't it?
It's like 4 episodes before it finally ends. But like,
is there a character returns like Minkus returns in Boy Meets World?
I mean, we know Minkus does return, but it's like an after credit gag.
I think he returns. I think he returns in the show.
Yeah.
Does like Vicky
in the actual
come
show
back in Full House or something?
She comes back in the last episode.
So I mean, there's a comebacker.
Yeah, but that's also the last episode, right?
Oh, right. We can't.
Characters returning could be good. We need to
Yeah,
put
it
more
could be.
into that.
Yeah.
Put more. All right, we've kind of
find
broke
me a good episode to watch. I beg
All right,
you.
yeah. All right, we broke these down enough. enough, so I think it's time to pick the next one, which is going to be a positive spin. We're going to do something positive. What were the options again? One of them was what ChatGPT thinks are the best episodes, which I think
as long as we can manipulate it a little.
we need to manipulate.
It recommended a dinosaur episode we don't want to watch yet.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I do like ChatGPT tells us the best episode. I think that's funny.
Yeah,
and I feel like it's going to be close enough.
I'm fine with that. I think that's good. To
really,
go.
you want it to be?
I think
ChatGPT
that would be
and
good
then
for this one, and then the beach one for August. I think that's we're
that's
gonna
my
do like
vote,
a
too.
beach episodes. Yeah, because there's plenty of those out there that we can do. There's got to be one with DJ being upset about a swimsuit. So,
oh my god, yeah.
Okay, all right. So we're doing ChatGPT's suggestions,
right?
Yeah.
Oh boy, and then we're gonna argue if that's actually the best episode because I sent you the Perfect Strangers one.
I think
Greg,
that's fun. Yeah, and
you don't believe that is the best episode. I'm
was the
worried
best?
that we've seen a lot of them. That's what I'm worried about. Like,
Like, give me another one. Give me,
like is Perfect Strangers best episode Pipe Dreams? Probably, it might be.
Probably.
That was hysterical.
I don't think it's the one that they said. But what's the best? What's the best step-by-step episode? The one they said, I don't know if that is the best step-by-step episode. But we've seen the best Boy Meets World episode. It's the Scream episode. We've already seen that. The best Family Matters, highest ranked one, Stevel. That's the highest ranked Family Matters episode. Halloween is big.
Yeah, wow.
Halloween's big in this list. All right, that's what we'll do. We'll work that out. Time for plugs. Greg, you got any plugs?
No.
All right, the Pod Long podcast, Mark and I do. We're gonna do a off-season episode very soon.
Yep,
very very soon. So
week or something. We were talking about it.
Yeah,
so,
recording within this week. So
summarizing where we're at, how the draft went, how free agency went, and then probably take a month hiatus, maybe more, and
preview episodes will come after training camp.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna do that. Any other plugs, Mark? You got anything else to plug?
The Grod Pod's happening.
The Grod Pod.
We
did a little pre-production. There's a little pre-production meeting.
Right. I had a little bit of a delay on my end, but I'm back, baby, and I can't wait to talk about Man Ram and Emma. So and Kane. That's what I call Snake, by the way. I call him Kane.
Snake.
He looks like Kane.
He kind of does look like Kane. Yeah, his name is Snake, though. I did watch one episode. That's what spawned this because I was stuck home one day and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, and it is bad.
It is of a time.
It is of a time. All right, we're done. Let's wrap it up. We'll see you next time. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.